Welcome to Defending Eternals. Good to have everybody here. I'm having all the technical difficulties today. Poor
It's okay,
Jason,
man.
poor Jason didn't get into the stream until about 30 seconds before we went live. So
It's okay, man.
that
I'm here,
is
man.
that
I'm
is
here.
my fault. I'm trying to send the stream to let other people join instead of him. I guess I don't know what I'm doing. So uh,
You should send
sending
it to
links.
Ken. Probably has some things to defend.
Oh no, I actually sent it to Katie. Popping the popcorn is who I
Yeah.
sent it
Oh
to
my
by
God.
accident. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm just making
No
mistake
worries,
after
man.
mistake, and I guess I'm just nervous. I don't know.
It's okay,
Uh,
man. No worries,
but,
man.
but hey, I'm glad to have everybody here. Thank you for joining the stream. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to defend the Eternals tonight, and we may lose all of our viewers before this is over, but that's okay. It's going to be fun anyway. Joining Movie Time Minute tonight is the one and only Jason Entertainment. Jason, tell us about yourself and how
Well,
happy.
thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me, man. So what's up, YouTube? What's up, everyone? My name is Jason Entertainment. I run a YouTube channel called Jason Entertainment, where I basically talk about movies. Also, sometimes I talk about football. Basically, I talk about things I love, like anime, football, movies, and etc. Also, if you have some requests, you can tell me, and I would love to discover new things with your requests. And yeah, so we're here to defend Eternals today because me and DJ, we think like this is one of the most underrated movies of the MCU and probably criminally very hated. For I don't know, we'll discuss that. And yeah, so thank you so much, DJ, for this. Also, like if you're new to this stream, don't forget to subscribe to DJ. He's awesome. You should definitely watch his videos. Like he has some really cool videos about movie reviews and everything. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to us and let's have fun. Honestly, let's have fun. It doesn't matter if you have a different opinion than us. Like what we love is to discuss and our pros and cons, and that's what this community is about. So thank you so much, DJ.
All right. Thank you for giving us that there. If you haven't subscribed to Jason's channel, make sure you go over to Jason's channel, check him out. He's way better at this than I am. So
No,
we're
come on,
really
man.
happy
That's
he's
not
here with
true,
us.
man.
We're,
No,
he's
that's
here
not
tonight.
true. No.
So we've actually got a lot of comments already. Some of these come
Yeah,
in
I've seen
before the
some of
stream
them.
even started. Yeah. So we're going to run through those before we get jumping into
Yeah.
our main topics and everything here. But thank you all that commented already and made this stream as exciting as it is. It could have
Yeah.
very well went the other direction and not had a single person interested in this at all. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Seriously.
First up, Frankie Beastmaster. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie. I don't get the hate, just not a huge fan. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I
Hello, Frankie.
appreciate the honesty. Yeah, and thanks for the comment.
This one, you're gonna love this one.
Cosmic Broadcast. I showed up 6 hours early in the chat to say Eternals was hot, stinky poo poo, in my opinion. That is all. Well,
thank you.
That's fine, Jonah. I appreciate you anyway, and I'm glad that you came by. And that is perfectly fine. I love that that's your opinion, and my goal today is to change that opinion.
Yep.
Hey, I know this guy. I agree. Don't understand the hate for this movie. Yeah. Do you know that guy? He looks familiar.
Yeah, he looks familiar, but I don't know. Probably, I don't know.
CC, hey, thanks for joining.
Hey,
Thanks for being a part of this. Eternals wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't a terrible movie in my opinion. Okay, that's fair. I like to see that.
I like to see that.
Dark movies.
Dark movies.
On dark movies. Hey, glad it's at this time. Yeah. He has his own stream tonight as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I was about to say after our stream. Like he's doing the creator, so I can't wait to hear his thoughts, man.
Do you know what time his was? Is it during this or is it?
Well, on my time, Eastern Standard Time, it's 11 p.m. So yeah. We should definitely catch it up.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I will be sure to tune into that here in a little bit. Dark movies, and also if you guys want to see more dark movies, he's going to be on this channel at like 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern on October 13th. We're going to talk horror movies, so that's going to be a lot of fun to do with him on Friday the 13th in October. So that's
so cool, man! I can't wait for that, man.
It's going to be
he's really cool. He's really cool. I recently spoke with him. He's really nice, seriously, and he's such a. I love his intros, seriously.
His intros are fantastic. I would never attempt to try what he does in those things.
Yeah, I know.
Way too embarrassed.
I can't do that.
But yeah, really great content. Y'all go subscribe to Dark Movies. In fact, subscribe to CC, subscribe to Jonah on Cosmic Broadcast, subscribe to Frankie. All those guys, great channels. You won't be disappointed. Dark movies. Oh, let me get it to come up. Excited for the stream. Me too. That was you again.
Who's this guy? Who's this random person? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely go check out Dark's. Whoa, my thing just skipped on me. There we go. Dark movies. Jason, thank you so much. I'll be checking the stream as well. But yeah, most of the stream is going to be spoiler free. One segment is going to be spoilers. Okay, and that's what he's talking about, the creator. So anybody that wants to go check out that stream here in a little bit, or if he starts before we're finished, I hope we're not on that long because I don't have the voice for that. But if regardless, jump over to his and make sure you check out his stream in a little bit too. Dark, but I know.
Yeah, he's talking about the creator. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
Okay.
I watched it, reviewed, and I'm really excited to see his opinion too.
Okay. Just a quick, can you give me a good or bad, or is you waiting for a review for that?
Oh, like me or
like what you thought about it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, what I thought about it. Honestly, like it was really nice. Like I liked it. Like seriously, like okay. I really recommend it to people to go watch it, especially if you liked Star Wars Rogue One. I think like there's
really. It's the same director, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the same director, and I forgot to mention this on my video because like it was so loud. I had to cut so many things, but like there's actually some like I can see some things like that he took from Rogue One. So that's why I was like, okay, this feels a bit familiar, but also like new. So yeah, if you haven't watched that, DJ, I really recommend you to watch it. Maybe I heard some people didn't like it, like Sully streams didn't like it, but I mean,
okay. Well, I just knew I wasn't going to have time for it this weekend, so I've been trying not to get myself too hot for that movie, just because I knew I wasn't going to get to watch it opening weekend. But it is good to hear some people liking it, so that's cool. That's cool. I thought that last trailer was really good for it. So, Dark movies dropping this bombshell now. Eternals is not bad. It's super fun. Absolutely.
Let's go.
People should stop trying to say differently. 80s kid from the 90s. Arishem the Judge. Yes, and if you haven't been able to tell, not long ago I told you guys that Arishem became Arishem the Headless. His head's back. So
yes, let's go, man.
There he is. I got him fixed. He no longer has any resale value, but he is fixed and his head is back on. So that's all right. Not that I was ever going to resell him anyway. 80s Kid Cosmic, what's up? Got some saying hi's here.
Hey,
Kenny Sparks, the recently rebranded Kenny Sparks. This used to be See for Yourself if you don't recognize. But he's got a dope name, so he's going to use his name from now on, and I'm really happy Sparks to see that. Really nice.
Like, do you mind? Like, I just wanted to say this to Ken. Like, I will admit, I kind of miss the See for Yourself. Like, I got used to it, you know. But I don't mind Kenny Sparks. But I was used to See for Yourself. Like, it was cool, you know. Like every time his intro, well, I invite you to See for Yourself. Like, it was so catchy, man. So, but yeah,
he can still say that. That can still be his catchphrase, you know, for his channel and that kind of thing. So.
Actually, it was because like he was saying like every live stream, people are like, "Hey, see, did you see this? Hey, see," or so he didn't like that. So he was like, "Yeah, it's better, Ken."
Yeah. Let's see. But he said, "Ready for this foolishness? It's about to ensue." Yep. It to you it might be foolishness, but
plus his art.
Dark movie's excited. Kenny Sparks, love these guys though. Oh, we love you too, kid, but in a completely friend way. 80s kid from the 90s. Okay, I gotta do it. Welcome, you are.
Oh my god, that sounds so cool, man.
Had to go with that since he said it like that. Dark movies, Eternals is good. Thank you, Dark movies. What's up, Ken? We got a what's up, Dark. I read that as mom at first. I thought he said, "How are you, mom?" How are you, man? All right. Keep going.
How are you, mom?
80s kid, Kitty high. Oh boy, we got a couple more highs. Let's go down to 80s. Eternals isn't great, but it's not terrible. Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take that for now. And hopefully by the end of it, you'll give it a little more positive. It's not my favorite. It don't have to be your favorite. It just don't need to be your worst.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kitty, if y'all can get me to move Eternals from a 31st ranked MCU to my 30th, that will be a major victory. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Dark movies, it's 5 a.m. when I go live. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we've set up the time that we did for our streams, because I don't want them having to get up in the middle of the night to do our stream. So I'm like, dude, I'm off on Fridays.
he's in Norway, so yeah, it's actually that's
So
crazy.
I was like, dude, I'm off on Fridays. If we'll do 11 a.m. Eastern, I think that's something close to like 8 p.m. his time. I was like, let's do something like that. That works for me if it worked for him, and I think it did. So that's going to be fun. Okay, my comment went like that on me. So
energy drink.
Got my energy drink. Yeah. You probably need it if you're getting up that early for the stream, man. Or maybe that's some commitment. Oh, what is it doing? There we go. Thank you.
He said, "Thank you so much, DJ and Jason. Thank you, man, for being here."
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you being here. Well, we're gonna have trouble. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed through these because we need to get into what we're talking about here.
All right.
Kenny,
yes, DJ. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
so I hit that
DJ.
just a little while ago. So thank you all for that. Thank you to all my subscribers. I'll put out a video tomorrow thanking you as well because I've got to. This month has been extremely crazy. I just hit 100 like less than a month ago, and then now I'm at 150.
That's good, man.
Like I went 5 months to get to that 100, and then a month it's 150. So I'm like,
yeah, sometimes it happens like that. Right, but anyway, man, like honestly, congratulations for that, man. Like this is just the beginning,
appreciate
man.
That.
You have more to come, man. You have more to come. I can't wait for that.
My tiredness this week has shown for it, so I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely slow down though. Like for the next 2 weeks, I'm not gonna post much because I have exams, so I can't.
Yeah, I feel you.
Awesome.
View with Drew, thank you for joining.
Hey man, Drew, what's up? How are you doing, man?
Let's see that. Congrats. Not much doing good. That's good. Good to hear. All right, I'm gonna read a couple more here. I see one more name that we hadn't got to yet. I'm going to get to him, and then I'm going to take a break from the comments, and we'll get started.
All right.
Ken, what if we convince them to drop Eternals down a couple of notches on their list? It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And,
not going to happen.
It can't happen in my house because it's my wife's favorite MCU movie.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Therefore, I'm going to be stuck watching it, so I might as well like it. She likes to rewatch that one. I like the way you think. Moved. I may not have seen your question on my Ask Me Anything post yet. Yeah, I thought about that after Ken last night. I will definitely jump over there probably after the stream or something and get leaving your question.
Definitely. So. I posted something yesterday too. So
did you? Okay. Yeah, I'll get over there and do that. Last night I just got off here and I was tired. I was done when I got done streaming last night. So, and then today has just been crazy trying to get this set up as well as trying to get my other my doesn't hold up video up, and of course that didn't happen. That's going to come out tomorrow instead, and it's just been one thing after another. Went to my niece's basketball game, and it's just been way too busy.
Man. Like I finished editing like the One Piece. Like it's coming tomorrow, my One Piece review. But you know me, like I like to go and touch some little things, so I started to redo some stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, like I really have to put this tomorrow. So I
understand.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm going to read this one, and then we're going to move on.
Hey,
screens
Jason,
in. Convince me, DJ. We are going to convince you. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you being here also. And from there, we're going to remember that's where we were, and we're going to get into our topics for today. I should have put this up when I had you up, and I didn't do it. So there we go. You already gave us that.
Thank you.
All right. Why are we doing this live stream? Jason, I'm going to go to you here while I get me a drink and let you tell us why we're doing this live stream.
All right. So why are we doing this live stream? Honestly, I think it's because of Cosmic Broadcast, probably also Kenny Sparks, and other fellow YouTubers. No, but sincerely, first of all, thanks to Cosmic Broadcast. He gave us the idea. Hey, guys, you like Eternals, so maybe you should talk about and like explain why do you like it so much and why for you, on your opinion, it's very good. So that's where the idea started, and that's what we want to do here. Like we're not here to tell you, oh no, your opinion is wrong. We're just here to tell you why do we think this movie gets a lot of hate that maybe it doesn't really deserve. Like I don't think it. For sure, like we're biased. Like for us, it's really high, but like just thinking a bit outside of that, like we do feel like it doesn't deserve that hate that it got. So that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about why do we love this movie.
Yeah, it's my opinion that this movie is a lot better than some of the other recent ones we've gotten that people complain about, and yet this one still seems to be on lower marks than what some of these were. And I don't think this one is as hated by the general audience as what people may think. And on that topic, I'm going to go ahead and go over, and I want to show you guys a couple things on this before we dive into this movie. This is the first time I'm doing this, so
yeah, no worries, man.
Just hold tight for a second while I try. There it is. Okay.
Me too. I'm going to. Yeah.
Oh. Should go now. Here we go. All right. So, what just happened? Did it move us around weird? Try this. There we go. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but all right. So, first off, I want to show you guys the Rotten Tomatoes score. Whether you agree with Rotten Tomatoes stuff or not, here's where we're at. 47% on the critics, 77% on audience, which is not as bad as people would make it out to be when you think about what the score is, because that's higher than some of the other recent MCU movies.
Yep.
And if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, they're on a like or dislike type scale when people are voting, and that means that less than 50% of the critics liked it, but almost 8 out of 10 audience actually liked this movie. But it seems like the voices are so loud on the dislikes that it really looks like it's worse than what it might actually be.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think there was an article where that's when I remember like people were saving Eternals, because when you watch the Rotten Tomatoes, like Thor: Love and Thunder is higher than Eternals, and that's where people were like, no, this is impossible. Like Eternals is. That's when I was like, okay, I have to make a video about Eternals, because that's where I'm like, oh my god, there's a lot of people who actually like Eternals, but they're just not they're just not loud enough.
They're not loud enough. Yeah,
exactly. And yeah, everybody was like, no, this is impossible. Like, like how can Thor: Love and Thunder be way better? I think it has like 57 or something like that, or 60 probably.
Yeah.
And people were like, nah, it's crazy. And I think Eternals is like the second worst Rotten Tomatoes MCU.
Yeah, I think didn't Quantumania drop below it?
Yeah, so I think Quantumania is the first one, then Eternals, which I'm like, whoa, that's that's something.
We'll get more into that in a minute. I do want to bring up this particular.
Nielsen,
thing. This comes out of CBR, but according to the Nielsen analytics, Eternals was viewed by 4.236 billion minutes in 2022, making it the 13th most streamed film for the year. And several other Disney Plus films ranked higher, but this was the number one MCU film watched in 2022 on Disney Plus. So I thought that was pretty interesting for a little tidbit of information there. And then looking at the gross, yes, it only made worldwide $402 million. That seems really bad. But in comparison, if we want to jump over to the other side of the spectrum here to the DC, we've not had a movie get to this number since the first Aquaman movie. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a positive for this here, that this one's so hated, yet we've had that. So I just wanted to share those few little things there before we got going.
Well, that's good, man. That was really good, man. That's solid, man.
All right. So we'll move on to our experience watching this movie when we went to see it.
Would you like to go first, or we'll go?
My computer's being very slow. Is it showing up there on yours that we? Okay, there it is on mine now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's happening, but what was your theatrical experience watching this movie? Me personally, it was me and my wife. We went it together. I don't think we had any other friends with us for this movie. We sat down to watch it, and I'm going to tell you what happened. We sometimes will take a selfie there in the theater, and we'll post it on Facebook for friends and family. Hey, we're watching a movie, date night, hashtag fun, whatever, And for some reason, when I posted for this one, I said hashtag Eternals, hashtag hope it's good. And
Okay.
I don't know what the deal was, but Facebook flagged me for that.
What?
And I wound up getting this goes against community standards or whatever. And I thought, well, that's weird. Do they just not want me to like this movie? I hope it's good. No, do not hope this is good. Like, I don't know what happened there, but that's just a little funny story that happened the night we watched this. But
I've never heard
we watched
something
the
like that.
movie. I had heard a couple people in some of the early reviews talking about this was really long. It felt long.
Yeah.
Chloe Zhao's directing choice made it extremely slow, all that kind of stuff. And while we were watching it, it ended, and I said, "Was that really 2.5 hours or more? Like, was that?" I didn't feel like it was that long. For me, it flew by. I love the storytelling. We went back and watched it again. Still enjoyed it. So when I was coming out of it and seeing all these negative responses, I thought that's really odd that there's so many negative things to this when I really enjoyed it. And a lot of times I agree with other people when they're downing things or uplifting things and stuff. And I had just come out of Shang-Chi, which is my favorite MCU movie. And watching this, I thought, hey, we're on a roll right now. And then everybody else is like, no, that movie sucked. Okay. Anyway, what was your experience with this?
So we were a lot. The first time I went to watch it, I watched it 3 times at the movie theaters and once at home. So I watched actually a lot. So that's why I know this movie well and I love it so much because if I hated this movie, I wouldn't watch it that much time. So the first time we went to the movie theater, we were 13, like me and my friends. It was a while we didn't see each other because of COVID and everything. So things were going better, let's say like that better. So we went and out of 13, only one person she didn't say it was bad. She just said like it was confusing. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Everybody else, the 12 others, we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, what did we just watch? Like, I was like, I didn't clap because I was shocked. I'm like, well, because the ending is really shocking. I'm like, whoa, what the hell did just happen? But I was just like, wow, this was like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, whoa, Fastos, Druid, wow, what did they? Whoa, okay. And I went a second time. This time we were six people. Out of the six loved it. Well, I'm gonna exclude myself. So 5, and 5 loved it. And then the third time I went with 2 friends, and they loved it too. And I watched it with my parents when it streamed on Disney Plus. They loved it as well. So like I don't know how many people are there exactly, but like so one of them didn't like it, which is fair. I mean, like it's okay. She doesn't need to love what we love.
And that kind of goes with that audience percentage. I mean, you've got one every few that's gonna, but
for sure. So but so honestly, like this was one of the best. But this was one of the best experience like I had. Like I think this will be the second best experience because the first was of course Spider-Man No Way Home. Like it was just months later, and that was fantastic. But this one was the second one. Like it was because of my friends. Like it's been a while, but also the movie really delivered on what we expected, and even it gives us even more than I thought I would need. And honestly, like it was just a pleasant surprise. It was everything I wanted to be.
Yeah, that's what I had. We had some friends a few months ago that come over to the house because they had never seen this movie because they had heard all the hate from different people that they knew, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not giving that one a chance." Well, they come over to the house. We invited them for dinner. We're like, "Just sit down and watch this movie with us. Try it, see what you think, and if you hate it halfway through, we will turn it off."
Yeah.
And we sat down. They didn't say a word through the whole movie. They got done with that, and they're like, "Why do people hate this movie?" I know we're seeing it in the comments because we've got almost 40 comments right now.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So we're going to hear why people hate this movie in just a moment. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, before we even read these comments, I understand most of your gripes.
Yeah, me too.
I see why you think the way you think with it, and I see some of the issues you had. I may disagree with a lot of it for my own reasons, but I do understand where you're coming from, and I'm not going to put any hate on you for hating this movie. Like I'm sure some is coming, 45 comments now, is coming to us for liking this movie. So I guess we need to run through a few of these before it gets even more out of hand than it is.
I can't wait. I'm really curious to see what they're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so we were at.
And then Jason. After we get through this, we'll go talk about the director a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, we were at. Oh my gosh.
It was Jason, the last one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get up to it because it brought me all the way to the bottom here. Yeah, Convince Me DJ was the last thing we saw, right? Okay. Hey, what's up? Screen's in. I'm still going to try to incorporate See For Yourself in my channel language. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
I'm with screens in telling me why he likes something is different than convincing me. We're going to get to more of that as we dive deeper into this movie.
Yeah.
I know right now we're just telling you we like it, but we're going to get more into that. Screens in the building.
Yes.
Zack Attack reviews. I don't know if he's trolling or if he's serious, but Eternals Forever.
Okay, thank you, man.
I hope that's really your thoughts, because that's cool to have somebody in the comments on our side here.
Yeah. Well, we have Dark already,
movies,
so now
Dark
Zack.
movies are going. Thor 4 was bad. Okay. I won't argue with you on that. I do think there were a few good things in Thor 4.
Yeah, definitely, but yeah, overall.
But yeah, the movie itself was not great. But I did have some good laughs. Oh no, not Zack Attack 2. So he's been very quiet in some of our chats recently I've had with him and with Ken and them. So I wonder if that's why he's been quiet, because he knew he was going to come in and say that.
Maybe.
Thor 4 is my 32nd ranked MCU movie. Yeah, so that would be right after Eternals.
31 movies.
For him, yeah. What's going on, Dark Movies? All right, screens in. Eternals should have showed how their origins prompted the Avengers would have been more interesting.
Okay.
Trying to think of how he's phrasing that there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, Eternals should have showed their origins.
How their origins prompted the Avengers would have been more interesting. I'm not quite sure. I have to think on that.
Yeah, I think like he's
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe like. Anyway, we'll get to that. Like, I'm gonna explain after also like why I think like something they should have fixed. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now we're just doing our praises, and we're gonna get more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get to the details.
Pretty good. Just chilling, watching awesome stream with some people don't really know, but they seem like two amazing people. Screens and reviews. Okay.
Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate that. I think you're pretty amazing yourself, Dark Movies.
You are, man.
80s kid, A-OK. Be right back. All right, that's fine. Screen said, enough said. Enjoy, bro, at Dark Movies. Okay. So the Eternals can create whole living beings into the harvest planets' living beings' energy. Why can't they just create the energy to birth their sibling?
We're gonna get through that.
Yep, screens in. Instead, we've been here the whole time, but we just didn't want to get in the way. Also, after a little celestial is sticking out of the earth, no one mentions it. I mean,
in Captain America 4, they're going to mention it.
Yep, and we did get the news article on the side in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you had to really pay attention to see that, but it was there.
I didn't know
the whole time thing. I mean, they did address that. I mean, I wouldn't want to go against a celestial telling me not to interfere.
But I mean, like, I think, like, I understand what he means. It's like, this is so huge that it's crazy that people don't talk really about it. It's just a news article. You know, it's not like a little robbery or I don't know, like just it's not like a small thing. So I understand that. We'll get to that later on.
That stuff, yeah. But I just mean like the first part of that we've been there all the time, didn't want to get in the way thing. Like I feel like they explained that in a way that was satisfying to me. It didn't bother me any on that. Now, Zack Attack, people start checking it out on Disney Plus and liking it. Yeah, I guess that's because we're talking about the different things. Isn't that the craziest thing? Cosmic Breakfast did nothing to move the MCU forward. That part I might agree with you on.
Yeah.
But that doesn't hurt the movie to me that it didn't move the MCU forward. I'll talk about that more later too. All right. Zack Attack reviews. I'd enjoy a free movie. Let's see.
I think he's talking about since the Eternals was on Disney Plus. Free movie. Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah. Cosmic says also it's funny how other Eternals have somewhat creative powers and Kingo just was like finger guns. Yeah, but those are some cool finger guns.
Yeah, even Kumail Nanjiani said like at first he thought it was so silly, but then he's like, oh my god, it's so cool to do this. Like seriously, his fight scenes were not bad.
Screens in Bollywood star power for real. That's okay. Dark Movies. OG, don't get me started on Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah, Love and Thunder. Hey, pop in the popcorn.
Thank you for joining, and I'm sorry about the mishap a little while ago. I seriously thought I was sending that to Jason, and it went to you. I mean, if you wanted to join, you've got the Discord now. You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a total blunder on my part. I don't know what I was thinking there. I know what I was thinking. I had her message already brought up, and then I just sent the stream to the wrong person. The only two people I think I've talked to the last couple of days have been you and her, because I'm setting something up with her in the future too. So it messed up. It just all got mixed up. That's all I can say. Kenny Sparks, I actually like the individual characters, but the story told with them was pretty poor in my opinion.
This is very interesting what he's saying. Okay.
We're gonna get into the characters and the story here in a minute. Honestly, Quantumania is amazing.
Okay, I respect that.
I do too, because when I walked out of the theater the first time, I loved it.
Me too, but then I started to be like, yeah, I understand why people don't like it.
Yes. So it was almost.
Oh man.
I don't know. I had the opposite effect on that as I've had other movies in the past. Like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I come out of that not liking it. And then the more I thought on it, the more I liked it. Yeah. So Ant-Man was one I come out of and I was like, this is actually really good. And then I went home and slept on it and was like, I don't know. and there's still like Love and Thunder. There are a lot of things in that movie I do like.
Yeah, I mean too. Yeah. But yeah, I remember. Quantumania. Like, I think it was the first time I was invited, like from to early screen time. So screen. So that's why it was surreal for me, But I was like, yeah, the movie is enjoyable, Like it's an Ant-Man movie. I mean, come on, it's Ant-Man. It's not Avengers level, but it's Ant-Man.
Yeah,
it was fun. And then I went to rewatch it that same week because I didn't know I was going to win. So I already planned with my friends to go see it on a Saturday. And I went on a Wednesday. Oh my God, that Saturday, that hour, how much time is it? Like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Oh my God, it was so long. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, it was so long. I was like, what am I doing here?
It's not one that was good on a rewatch for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That's one, once you knew what was happening, it's like, I don't really need to go through this again. So,
yeah.
And that is a testament to being not a great movie. But I'm really happy that Dark Movies liked it, because I love it when anybody likes a movie that I don't like, just because I know it's getting little love when I can't give it to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad.
Back. Back. I don't know why I keep doing that. Hey, Papa,
that's nice, man. I love it.
We got a hey, Dark. Blink twice if you're okay. Quantumania. Be nice, Jason. My dear friend Ken. Hey, popping. Ha ha ha. Okay. Cousin Brockers, I'm pretty sure the only reason why it was the most watched Disney Plus film was because DJ and Jason had it running on repeat in the background of their house.
That would have been a good. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, my wife may have actually done that, so that may have been happening. Hey, I bought the Eternals Monopoly, and I remember my father-in-law.
There's a Monopoly Eternals.
Yeah, there's a Monopoly version of Eternals. Right. It's got you can play as all the different characters. They each have their own abilities while you're running the Monopoly board.
Oh, okay, that's
cool. Going around it. And I remember my father-in-law. He saw that I had it, and he said, "Isn't that movie already long enough, and you're going to put it in Monopoly?"
Oh my God, yeah, true. Monopoly is freaking 4 hours, man. Depends with who you're playing, right? But oh my God,
I guess he had a point, but I don't know. I've still not even played that Monopoly, but I do have it.
Okay, but what? Do you have little figurines or something? Or it's
it's got busts of them and the little Monopoly pieces, but
okay.
And then it's got a card that goes with each figurine or each figure that goes on the board that has their own individual. Okay. Like you roll a dice, you get extra roll. I think you get to roll it twice for Macari.
And you should take Macari. You can, I suppose, you can just fast forward the game. Go to the $200 check in.
There you go.
Yeah. Nice, that's good.
We got some highs by greeting each other. Really like Quantumania. Sorry, haha. That is perfect.
No, man, that is good, man. I love Quantumania at first. Then I was like, yeah, it kind of went down a little bit.
Kenny says the death of Gilgamesh was a horrible decision. They killed the coolest Eternal. I didn't like Gilgamesh.
Oh, really?
that was one of the characters I didn't care about. So,
oh my God, you didn't care about? Oh my God,
I didn't care about Gilgamesh. I thought
I love Gilgamesh. Actually, I kind of agree with this. I was like, fuck, why did they kill him? Seriously. I mean, I understand why, but it's just okay, I guess. It was really cool. So yeah, well, I mean, there's other cooler than him, I believe, but still, he was one of my faves.
Well, to be honest, I didn't. I say I don't care for him. I didn't really care for him that much, but I didn't hate Gilgamesh. There's only one character that I just wish wasn't in the movie, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Ooh, I kind of. Anyway, yeah, I can't wait for that. I was about to guess, I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait for that.
Screens, I'll let you guess when we get to the characters. Screens in, all good, no worries. I like cats, so there's that. Yeah, so he's gonna come in.
Wait,
and tell
Cats,
us
is that movie where what's the guy who runs a show, a late night show? What's his name again?
James Corden was in that. If that's what.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch that.
I don't know that that's the actor that everyone thinks of when they think of Cats, but I mean,
no. But I mean, like, because I remember because like he had to eat like something disgusting, and he said, no, fuck it, I'm not gonna eat this. Well, one of the worst projects I've been, it's Cats emoji, and I don't remember what was the other one. He was like, no.
Cosmic says even Facebook was trying to warn you the movie was doo-doo. Man.
Oh my god, man.
Guinea, locking Eternals definitely goes against community standards. Maybe it does, but that's okay. I'll just continue to go against community standards. Zach says, I remember me and my friends loved it. See, I agree. Yeah. It was a great time at the theater.
Yep.
Cosmic Broadcast LOL. Kenny says, Chloe Zhao's fantastic director. Eternals doesn't change that. No, because it's just as good as her other movies.
Yep.
So there you go. I said it.
Yeah,
put Eternals and Nomadland together. I'm going to tell you, I love both movies equally.
I would go just a little bit Eternals.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, Eternals is a little more fun than Nomadland, but
yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Well-made movie.
Slower. Yeah, the other's slower, but yeah.
Zacatech Review says, then we came out of the theater and saw everyone trashing it and was really confused. I was the same way.
Me too. I was like,
didn't get it.
Yeah, me too.
Yo, Shang-Chi, DJ, let's go. It's not my favorite MCU, but it's the best in Phase 4. I mean, some people would argue No Way Home is, but I don't even have No Way Home in my top 10 MCUs. So.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I mean, I don't know if you saw my Spider-Man rankings, but No Way Home was like number 6. So.
Okay, no, I have to check that, man. And number 6, okay. I really have to check that out then. Number 6, okay.
Yeah, I think in my title I said number 6 will surprise you or something like that.
That's good, man. Okay. I mean, like, I know it's not the best. Like, when you, after the hype, when you look at it, it's not really well done. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it does. Yeah, there's some problems there, but we don't care because we were treated.
It was a great theatrical experience.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing theatrical experience. Yeah. Amazing.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
80s Kid, it's a good movie, not a good Marvel movie. We might touch on that here in a minute too.
We might touch on that.
That might be one of our points, but but trashing it, no. Okay. We'll talk more. Shang-Chi is excellent. I agree.
Excellent, yeah.
80s Kid, I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you. Finally, someone likes it. Cough, cough. Cosmic.
I don't think
I can't remember what we were talking about now.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got a long one here. What's Cosmic saying? Fun fact, Eternals was the only MCU movie I've walked out of halfway through because I was bored. Went back and finished it when it came back out on Disney+, but really struggled with paying attention. Man, I had a completely opposite view on that.
Yeah, me too.
Reaction to that. Like, that movie, I didn't even realize was going as long as it was.
Yeah, me too. When it finished, I'm like, oh my God, it's done.
I was so entranced with the visuals, with the storytelling, and with the individual characters that I was just...
I wanted more, like, actually we're going to touch about that, but I got kind of pissed, like, when it ended, and specifically how it ended in with the credit scene. So anyway, we'll touch about that, but hey, man, but it's respectful, man. Like, I mean, not
that was your experience. We can't take away from your experience when you went to watch it, and it is completely valid that you felt that way.
Exactly. Maybe next time you should go watch it with us,
Yeah, watch it with another group of people that are enjoying it, and you might enjoy it more. No, all joking. Ha. All right, we're almost to the end of these, and then we'll get back over. Kenny, I saw Eternals twice in theaters. I was really excited for it, but unfortunately, I left disappointed. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Screen Send, I've yet to walk out of a movie I paid for. That says a lot. Yeah.
I think I just walked once out of the movie theater.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know it's happened, but I can't remember what all I've walked out on. But
Me, it was a Black Mass. It's with Johnny Depp. Honestly, like maybe it's a
Okay,
good movie, but I don't even know why we went there. We were
never
supposed to
even watched
watch.
that.
We were supposed to watch Maze Runner, and for some reason, my friend decided to not because he doesn't like those movies. So he decided for everyone, like, oh, let's watch Black Mass. You know, like it's Johnny Depp. We went there. Oh my
Yeah,
god! Like I feel so bad for the three people that were in the movie theater because we were like 10 little kids that were and we didn't care about the movie, we didn't understand anything, so we were just
yeah.
talking and laughing, and then I said, yo guys, let's leave because I feel bad for the three people that are in the movie theater, and we just at this point we're not gonna watch anything, so just let's leave, and we walked away.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the only Marvel movie I've ever felt like I wanted to walk away was Thor: The Dark World, because I didn't have fun through that movie the entire
I didn't
movie.
watch that in the movie theaters.
That's the only one I thought about getting up and leaving for. Like even
Damn,
Thor: Love and
okay.
Thunder didn't do that for me because even though I think Thor: The Dark World might even have a better story than Love and Thunder, I had more fun with Love and Thunder because I was laughing a lot. So
Yeah, yeah,
that one kept me around for that, even though I didn't think it was great storytelling. Dark movies, broadcast you walked out. Oh well.
yeah, that's crazy.
Screens them also with that. It's a DC. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's talking about, but
I've never walked out of a movie. Cosmic. I had other things I had to do that night, and I really couldn't justify sticking around to finish it. That is fair, man.
that is fair,
That's
man.
fair. Hey, if you're seriously hating a movie that much while you're watching it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't blame you. That's
Yeah, and it's better to walk away because like then like people start to take out their phones. You know, you start
yeah,
to talk with the other. Like, come on, like just like yeah, you just didn't like it, and that sucks. But
yeah.
it will suck for the others that are enjoying it. So yeah, I'm not saying you did that, Jonah. By the way, I'm just saying like what I did. All right, when I was like 14 or 15 years old. So
Yeah. I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
I
That one
didn't
might
watch
be
that.
that one might be one of the worst movies ever made. So
Oh my god,
if
that
you're
much.
gonna walk out of one, then there's one to walk out on. It's a DCU movie masquerading as an MCU film, and I love that. Oh, you okay? Talking about Eternals, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it does have some of those feels to it. I can
yeah.
see where you're coming from there. 80s kid. Should I start reviewing Lego sets as a side segment? If so, what should I call it? Hey, man, if it's something you love, absolutely go for it because people are going to see that passion. If
Yeah.
you're putting those videos out and you're loving what you're doing, people are going to get it and they're gonna cling on to that.
Yeah, the
So
most important thing is like have fun, what like doing what you like to do. If you
yeah,
want to talk
I
about
mean,
if you want to talk about Legos, you should definitely try it, like, and then you'll see maybe it's something that you like, or maybe it's something that it's not for you. It's okay, but enjoy it. That's the most important thing. Enjoy what are the whatever content you put. Enjoy it. That's the most important thing.
we're sitting here talking about Eternals right now.
Exactly. Like
you know,
Cosmic Broadcast is like throwing us away, but it's okay. We're enjoying it. Like we
yeah,
enjoy his
I'm
presence.
having fun reading these comments where people are telling us this stuff. So, all right, we're gonna have to get through a few more and then move over again. I can't believe how many comments are coming in. All
Yeah, it's
eternal
great.
lucky people
Thank you so
rise.
much, everyone, for that.
Yes, absolutely. Cosmic Broadcast, are you a Lego fan? Uh, he says, yeah. Kenny says, love Lego. Oh, you didn't ask me. What's your favorite? 80s kid says, what's your favorite theme from Lego? Dark movies. Turn off turn off your brain and then you'll enjoy this movie. Oh, no, I don't know.
Are
I don't know if
you?
I'd go that far. I
Damn.
might say turn on your no, I ain't gonna say that either.
Oh
No,
man.
I ain't gonna go the opposite of that either. Yeah, everyone has different experiences, and it is perfectly justifiable whatever it is that you felt about it. But we're hoping we change your mind on that.
That's
Screens
good.
in. Eternals were the first on the scene and created what humans do in many aspects of civilization. They could have showed how pathos, for example, leads to a Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
That's
mean,
yeah.
some of the problem with that is the time, and I know we'll talk about that in a little bit, but
Yep.
there was so much they couldn't do because of the timing and the fact you had so much story to tell in a 2.5 hour window. It's really not enough.
Yeah.
Um, that is all right. I'm gonna do just a few more. Dark movies. Lego is amazing.
It
80s
is
kid.
amazing.
Which Lego movie is your favorite? We're gonna read these two from Cosmic here, and then we're gonna move on
Uh
from
oh.
That what just happened? There we go. Star Wars Legos 100%. And DJ Jason, y'all going to be here all night with all these comments. Yeah, we might. And that's the perfect transition over to back to our conversation on this movie. So the next topic I want to bring up is Jason. What did you think of Chloe as a director?
Man, she's I mean, I saw Nomadland almost before yeah, I think it was like before the yeah. It came out, I think Nomadland, at least here it came out like in or March or something like that. So anyway, I remember I watched Nomadland before Eternals, but like maybe like 2 weeks before, just to know like who is she really, like what is her style and everything. And I love what Chloe Zhao does. Like I think like she's really brilliant, like with the camera, like her visuals. Also, like she likes to really film on the spot. You know, she doesn't like so many sets. That's why they went to Spain for Eternals. They went to shot. I don't remember the island, but they filmed there. And Kevin Feige said like that was really refreshing. You know, like to kind of get out of your.
They don't do that often.
Sorry,
they don't do that often. We don't get those type of visuals in other MCU movies.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, that was really nice. And like comparing Nomadland with Eternals, I could see that like the cinematography that she likes, her shots and everything. So I really love Chloe Zhao. I would love to see more of her work because I outside of those two, I didn't see anything else of her. So I don't even know that she has like other project. Probably yes, but I'm not aware. But I like Chloe Zhao. Since the beginning, I was like, since the first teaser, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be cinema talk. Like, this is gonna be cinema. Like Martin Scorsese that loves cinema, this is gonna be cinema. So I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be great. So yeah.
Yeah, I had didn't know much about Chloe other than she had directed Nomadland, and I was late to that party. And I usually watch every Oscar nominated movie before the Oscars hit, and I missed Nomadland. I didn't watch it until later because I knew she was going to do Eternals, so I wanted to see her filmmaking style. And I think she's a fantastic director, and I think it's criminal how much hate she got from this film because of her being allowed to use her directing style when it was no fault of her own. The issues I think that people have with this movie, I don't think were her fault.
No.
And I've heard, don't let her direct the second one, yada yada yada. But I would love it if she came back.
I would love to. Yeah, like honestly, like if Chloe Zhao is not going to come back to Eternals 2, like there's no point. Like seriously, it's like for me, it's like taking away James Gunn from the Guardians, and look what happened. Like they couldn't. They were like, no, James Gunn, you have to return for the third one. And this is the same, like because it's very different. Like she crafted this. Like it's very different.
Now, do we know, was she involved with the writing process on this? I didn't look this up before.
Yeah, that I didn't look like, because that's what I would love to know, like who wrote this story, because I don't think if it was only Chloe, which I would
I know it wasn't just her.
Yeah, probably it's not just her. So yeah, that's what I would love to see, because like aesthetically it's amazing, like Eternals, like I would even say like one of the best like visually MCU movies, like probably on the top 10. Like it's very, very beautiful, and that's why like I would love her to come back again, but maybe like this time, I don't know, like I don't know, like they should, the writers, like they should really sit with her and like talk about this to really go to really see like where should they go, and also like respecting some of the complaints of the fans, because we like not everybody is just trashing this movie because they want to trash it. There's some things they didn't like, and that's okay, that's fine.
So it looks like it was written by her and Patrick Burleigh. And there were some other credited writers on this movie as well.
Okay.
So she was involved with the writing process. So maybe if you don't like the way the story went, but you like the visuals, and I hear so many people talk about, even right now with Ahsoka going on in Sabine, and saying it's not her fault, it's the way she's being directed, it's the way she's being written. You can't say that to me, you can't say that the actors weren't directed well in this movie. I thought the performances we got by all the actors was tremendous. So that particular aspect of her directing and the cinematography, all the things that the director is involved in outside of maybe her helping write with this movie, I thought she did a fantastic job with. So if you don't like that, maybe have somebody else write it and then let her come back in to direct it and give her own little flair to it also. and maybe pull in the reins a little bit and don't let her have so much control over what she's doing with it. If that's a problem with you there too. But honestly, I'd be fine if she come back the same level that she had in this, because I did enjoy this. But if there are those concerns, let that happen, because she's a tremendous director. She didn't win Best Director at the Academy Awards for nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah, me too, man. I love Chloe.
All right. Move on to the next topic.
Ooh.
All right. Rank the characters. Tell me why you placed them where you did. Just give me some of your favorites, some of them that weren't your favorite, and give me just kind of an idea of what you thought about the characters.
All right. So, all right, I'll go to best to worst. Okay. So for me, the best is Druig. I fell in love with that guy. Like his storyline, like, so I'm just going to say this before I rank everyone. Like that's what I love about the Eternals. Like every character, well, almost every character, sorry, but most of them, like, they have such a richness of their story, like of their development, and that's why Druig is number one. Like this guy, like I don't know, like first of all, Barry Keoghan, amazing. Like every
Fantastic.
time he's present.
I didn't notice him in things until I saw him in this, and then I'm like, oh, that's every
that's very key.
Yeah.
Like at first I thought he was going to be the villain, like in the teaser I'm like, oh my god, this guy is so the villain, and I was glad that he wasn't the villain. He's just like this, in every family you have this, like there's always this one that doesn't really agree with the family and everything, and that's fine, man, and I was really happy that he had to play this role, like that powerful scene where he defies Ajax. I was like, oh my god, that was brilliant. Like that guy, every scene he was there, he stole it from me. So Drake was number one.
Scenes like that is what entranced me into this movie.
Absolutely. Me too. Like it was so powerful. Like honestly, like I think last week I went and rewatched that scene again. Just like on YouTube. I'm like, Drake is so fantastic, so underrated as hell. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was not a character everybody was talking about like they should have been.
Yeah, exactly. No, they weren't talking about. My second will be Fastos. Fastos, like I think, although it didn't have a lot of screen time, they really used him well for the little time he was there. That scene in Japan, I think it was Hiroshima. Oh my god, that was powerful. I was like, because I didn't know Brian Tyree Henry before this movie, so it was my first time knowing him, and I was like, whoa, that scene, like he really captivated me. I was like, oh, this guy has a range of like his acting, like wow, it's crazy, So I was like, whoa, this guy is very good,
It's funny you bring up both of those, because I believe didn't both of them get Academy Award nominations this past year?
I think, yeah. Actually, yeah. No, I think of it. Yeah. Yeah. True.
It's funny those were your top two, because they're the guys that went on to.
Yeah. True. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Glad you mentioned that, man. So yeah. So Druig, Fastos. Then my third one. This might be a bit. This is where I'm hesitating, because like I feel like there's two that deserve this third spot, but I'm going to give it to Athena. Angelina Jolie, first of all, we all know she's a fantastic actress. Her fight scenes were good here. Like I heard, like she really trained a lot for this movie and everything. And honestly, I will admit that maybe story-wise, maybe I would have wished she would have had a little bit more. Like she was just like always like blocking. But also, like I felt I understood why, and honestly, like she really delivered that. Like I really love that aspect from Angelina, and also like that's where you understand, like what threats are the Celestials, thanks to Athena. So I was like, okay, this is really interesting, and this is really fun. So that's why, like, my number 4 would be Gilgamesh. Like I can't have Angelina without Gilgamesh. I know I'm ranking him very high, but Gilgamesh, honestly, come on, man. Like this guy was fun. The actor was cool. I think he was in Train to Busan, if I remember correctly. Don Lee. It's just like unfortunately died too quickly. But I love this aspect that like usually in movies, like typically they will do like, okay, this guy's just in love with her, but no, it was just like his friend. He was his friend, like yeah, exactly. Like he took care of her for all of these years, and like I really loved that. Like he was really sincere. He was one of the most kind Eternals there. My number 4. My number 5 will be Icarus. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I know people don't like Icarus that much, but Icarus for me, like, I like the complexity of his character development. I know, like, I thought Richard Madden did a fine job. I won't say he was a spectacular, but I think it was he did good. But where he sold me, like honestly, it's that scene where he betrays the Eternals, and that line when he says, "Fastos, I am an eternal Fastos. I serve Harisham." I'm like, bro, like this is why I love Eternals. Like, you know, like the complexity of these characters. Like, you understand why he's doing this. Like, he doesn't want to do it, but you know, like he believes in Irisham, and that's his goal. You know, he believes that he was just created solely and purposely for that, and he moved forward with that. And that for me,
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, bro, like, damn, Richard Madden, bro, props. And his fight scenes were cool, man. His fight scenes were cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go quickly. So, six, Makari. Love her, but we didn't get
Okay.
too much of her, unfortunately. I wish we could have had more screen time with her. Kingo, number 7. Number 8, Cersei. So this is why, like, the Eternals, I'm mixed between this because I feel like the main character isn't that. I don't know, like that's why, like, nothing against Gemma Chan, she's fantastic. She wasn't the creator too, but I don't know, like her character, like, kind of feel weird. Like, it was like the least my least favorite character or my least interested character that I was in this movie. You know,
Okay.
so that's why it
Which
was
is
weird
odd
for me.
because, and I think that's going to be one of the negatives probably we're going to see in the comments is because
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
be
for
looking like
sure. Yeah,
she's leading this movie,
yeah,
and
exactly.
she's
She's
one of the
leading this
least
movie,
favorite
and
characters
like
by
she's
most
not
people.
exactly. Yeah, so that was one of my main critiques about this movie. Like, she's my lead, and it's crazy that I don't care that much about my lead. You know.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing one Eternal, but the last one would be Sprite. But probably I'm missing one Eternal because I have 9 here. So I don't know who I missed, but wait, Fastos, Druid. Anyway, probably I missed one, but yeah, my last one would be Sprite. Like, although I like what they did with Sprite, I feel like
Ajax.
people.
Ajax.
Okay, so Ajax would be last, but Sprite would be my number 9. Yeah, Sprite would be my number 9. Um, I love what Sprite was meant to be. You know, like, I really love this idea, and I think people don't understand this, or they gave too much hate for nothing because, like, it was
That's the
interesting
one
to
I
see.
gave the hate to.
Yeah, because, like, she's trapped on a like a child, you know, like on a child looking body or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't have the words right now, but
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, maybe like I think I just didn't like the way it ended with her, you know, like just out of nowhere. Okay, yeah, I'm going with you, Icarus. I understand she loved Icarus, but also it kind of feels weird, you know, like we're talking about Richard Madden and
Yeah.
that kid actress. And yeah, last one is Ajax because I think one of the biggest sins of this movie was killing Ajax since the beginning. Like, we don't even have one scene where she's literally alive. It's just pure flashback. And then this is not against Salma Hayek. That was frustrating because you're wasting such a great actress. You know, like, she's an A-star yeah, she's an A-star actress. So I'm like, wait, why would you waste her like that? So it's nothing against her. It's just like her character, honestly, was just thrown there to die, and that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much my ranking, man. What about you? And yeah, tell me your thoughts
So,
about it.
so to me, even though she didn't get enough screen time, something about the Thena character spoke to me all the way through this movie. I
Yeah.
thought it was fantastic performance, but also the action scenes with her were some of my favorite action scenes. And watching her go into that rage mode and back and forth and seeing the distraught on her face when she realized what's happening to her
Yeah.
and just that I don't know, like you don't see those type of performances in Marvel movies
Yeah,
that
yeah,
often.
yeah. Like,
I mean, you get, the Tony Stark when Spider-Man gets dusted, you get those scenes every once in a while. To me, this was one of the scenes that she did in this movie. I felt like she had multiple of them
yeah,
were
yeah,
those moments with her, and that's one of the reasons that character was just because I just thought this is fantastic, and the fact that Angelina Jolie played it to where this is the biggest name you have in this movie, and
yeah,
she's taking a back seat and letting the others shine, and I love that about the actress and the character that it was she wasn't overdone. It's like, oh, this is our star. Let's make sure she's the focus of this movie. No, they didn't do that. They
yeah,
gave her a chance to shine without making her over the top. And it's like, oh, another Angelina Jolie movie. So that's why she was at the top for me. And I'll just go through a few of them real quick because I don't know if I have a particular place. Like I tried to rank them earlier today, and
yeah. Me
I
too. I
made a
tried, but
ranking.
yeah,
I made a ranking, and I'm like, I don't know. I like all these guys. I don't like this person,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's where I was with it. So, Fastos is a great character. I love Makari, even though she, like you said, didn't have enough. You had 10 characters in a 2.5 hour time span, and or between 2 and 3, whatever it was, and you needed to introduce them, give them story arc, and also make your audience like these characters, and they didn't have enough time for what they were doing, even though they had a long movie. I've seen other movies bring in big ensembles, and we saw it with Infinity War Endgame, but those characters already had setups before this.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where somebody mentioned the DC thing. This is the DC thing where we didn't have setups and we still had to introduce to these characters and try to set them up while we're going through a team ensemble movie.
Yeah.
And that was an issue with this movie, and I understand that if that's coming through in the comments right now with another 40 comments we have to get to.
Oof. Let's go.
But again, I told you guys, I understand the dislikes you had for this. But I love Makari. I thought this was the best speedster effects that we've seen in movies. I think it's better than the Flash effects. I think it's better than even Quicksilver's in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
I think Makari was the coolest speedster effects we've seen. So that's my opinion on that. Maybe you disagree. That's fine. And I'll get a little bit more to Makari and Druig, but Druig was a fantastic character. And that was one of the characters I didn't like when I came out of the movie the first time. It's like I didn't like that character, and then the second watching, I'm like, oh no, I understand him more now. I didn't get it the first time I was watching it. I see him now. I see where he's coming from, and I'm with him. And I thought he had one of the coolest power sets because he could have done so much with that would have been extremely dangerous and bad for Earth all the way up to now, especially after he turned against the Eternals. So the fact that he was able to stay good, knowing he had that power to just control everyone if he wanted to, that was cool. And the other characters I can go down. I liked them. Gilgamesh, I think the reason I didn't care for him as much may have been because he died so soon. So I just didn't have time to fall in love with his character enough. I loved the relationship, the brother-sister relationship with him and Athena, but I never just felt an attachment to Gilgamesh, I guess. And maybe that's because I didn't have the time for it. Whatever. That's where I was with that. Ajax, same way. I didn't feel an attachment to her. I mean, you got a little bit of the motherly love type thing with her, and that was cool. She did a good job with what time she had, but it was a little lackluster for her character. I hated Sprite.
Okay.
That is the only character I don't like in this movie. Seriously don't like in this movie. Okay. I don't know what it is about bratty teenage girls in a movie. And I know, I don't know what it is with that stereotype that just bugs me.
I understand that.
Every time there's like a young girl in a movie or a show, it always aggravates the far out of me that they're always like that. And I don't know. I had a sister. She had her moments, but I didn't feel like she was always a bratty teenager. She's a year younger than me. I hate it when they do that with characters in every movie and show that I'm watching. I'm like, do they have to be the brat? Like, why can't we have a nice teenage girl for once in a movie? So that stuff just kind of bugs me. I mean, I do understand her motivation.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that I had to see that.
Like, the execution of her sprite wasn't the right one.
It was good. It was right. It's just when you've seen that so many times, I'm just tired of it. I'm bored with that storyline. So that's why I didn't like Sprite. Other than that, I thought the casting was great in this movie. I even like Dane Whitman. I'm a huge Black Knight fan from the comics, and I just read this latest run, Black Knight. What was the name of that series? Anyway, when Eternals was coming out, I wanted to get more into Black Knight because I was excited for that. And reading a little bit in the past where he was with the Avengers for a little while and things like that, I was kind of excited to see. I was hoping he was going to become Black Knight in this movie.
Yeah,
that didn't happen, but we get a little tease for that, I guess. But and Kit Harington with a sword, and I mean, I don't know. It's like, yeah, let's get that back again. So I was excited for that. The character himself, I thought he was definitely a background character. He didn't mean anything to the story, really. No. But it was fun just to know he's there and that he can be brought up in the future and used in the future. So I was excited for that, and I thought he did a good job with the 2 scenes he was in. I also love the fact that Robb Stark and Jon Snow are fighting over a girl named Cersei. That was so good.
Fun, you know that line when he's during I think it was in South America or something like that. You know when the signal wasn't going well, and she was like, "Oh, I'm breaking up," and he's like, "You're breaking up?" I was like, "Oh, that's so fun!" Like that's so fun. You see that's so like, okay, thank you.
that was one of the relationships I bought. I didn't like even though I liked the Icarus character, I thought he was very good for a villain role for this movie. Seeing the turn, seeing how he did it, like that scene when Ajax is realizing what's happening and that she's fixing to die, like that was another one of those like heart wrenching, like gut tearing out scenes. I'm like, oh no, and that kind of stuff. So I love that. I didn't love the Icarus and Cersei relationship. I just never bought it from the start of that. That was one that bugged me. But Dane with Cersei, I did see. Like that was a cute, fun relationship, and I had a lot of fun with that. So that's I guess how I'm going to rank the way it's not really a real ranking, but
well, since you brought up a human like Dane Whitman, I have to bring up my boy Karun. He was good, man. He was good.
A very much needed comic relief throughout this movie.
He was amazing
to kind of break up some of the staleness
that a lot of people had.
Because it was tension. Yeah. Before we get to the next one, we need to go through some more comments. Wow, we're at 56.
Those eternally comments, huh?
Yeah, the eternal comments where people are saying, "What are y'all talking about?" Let's see, where were we?
Are you insane, guys? Why are you defending this movie?
Wow. All Night with the Comments was the last thing we saw, so we're at Kenny Sparks. Lego Batman movie isn't talked about enough. It's a great movie. Cosmic. Facts Kid, Lego Batman movie is goated. Sack Attack. It expanded the MCU a lot by introducing Celestials. It leads to the bigger stuff down the line. Thank you. We'll probably get more of that in a little bit too. Joker, blink, 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 blinkety, blink, blink, best line in film. Yes. Okay. I was like, what? Yeah, you're talking about the Lego Batman movie. Okay, come on, computer. There we go. Dark movies. I don't think I've seen the Lego Batman movie. I've only seen the Lego movie. Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor: The Dark World introduced the Celestials. They did. That is true.
Yeah.
We did learn a lot more about them in this, though. 80s Kid. I went to my Lego store today, and they had tons of cool new stuff. Unfortunately, I had no battery on my phone. Okay, here's another long one from the Cosmic. Yep, the Celestials were already teased as cool cosmic characters in those movies, but Eternals have them way too much credit. I guess gave them way too much credit in the Earth's creation and functionality just to over-explain, in my opinion. That's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
And there we go. Cosmic. Have not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think I got it. Gave. Yeah. Stupid autocorrect. Yeah, I think I said gave. I guess that's a gripe you have. Okay. Autocorrect is a vibe killer.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes.
It says, I love that world building.
Yes. What world building?
What world building? Oh, they're going to get into it with each other before they're getting on with us.
Yeah.
As in, I forgot to say hello. Zack Attack says, is that sarcasm?
Uh-oh.
Zack Attack, they literally explained how existence started. Ultimate world building. Yep, they did do that.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Uh-oh. All good at 80s from the 90s. Hope you're having a great night. I'm hoping Loki season 2 is good. I do too.
Oh, it's coming Friday, right? On Friday, right? Or Thursday?
This week or the next? I think it's the next week, isn't it? Because we get the last episode of Ahsoka this week.
Let's go, Sabine.
And then, let's go die Sabine.
And
then we get a turn. Same 80s. Wong explained that in Infinity War.
Wong explained how the Infinity Stones were created, right?
Yes, he did.
I think I forgot a part, but I think it was mostly the Infinity Stones. How were they created?
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch again to see exactly how.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't pay attention to it until this movie. If it was Zack Attack, this is before those worthless stones. Oh man, I'm afraid right now.
Yep.
Kitty during the Infinity War explanation. Zach, yeah, showing is better than telling.
Yep, I love that.
I agree. Come on. Zach, I agree. No Way Home is not top 10. The story is poor. I agree with that as well. I don't
Yeah,
think the
I
story
agree.
is super strong. I think it's a really fun movie
Yeah, it's
with
fun.
some really cool moments.
I mean,
But
like, I still think I'll have it high just because of nostalgia, you know. But yeah, if
yeah,
we're objective, yeah, I don't think it's a top 10.
Kenny, all Eternals did was tell. Zach says, nah.
Oh my god, loving this, eh? Zach and Ken, damn, they're really.
Yeah, yeah. Zach says, that was not fun fact, Cosmic.
Remember, he
It's
said
really
fun. Yeah, it was like on the previous comment
hmm, hmm.
when he said
Oh,
like they over-explained.
okay, okay.
I think if I
80s
remember.
Kid says, I'm already a fan of the new Lego theme called Dreams. It's better than Ninjago. I don't even know how to pronounce that. And Nexonauts. It's the best and most creative theme. That's cool. Hey, I love that you love Legos, man.
I have to watch those Legos movies. I only watched the Lego movie. I didn't watch the Batman nor
Hmm.
Ninjago and the others.
Dark movie, to be honest, I was a bit bored, but then it picked back up and I was happy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the first part of this movie does take a little while. It takes a little while to get going in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'll say that. Once you get to those first few action scenes, though, it's really cool to see. And I was going to talk about this later, but the CGI in this movie was actually really great. Like,
it's amazing. Yeah, it's really
like
good. Like
people want to hate on this movie, but how many
we
movies
had
have we
Black
gotten
Widow. Black
since
Widow.
this movie?
I think
That
there's only one scene that it was terrible. It was like the plane of Kingo. Okay, that scene would look very,
yeah,
very cartoony. But then,
yeah, it
like,
was a little
you
bit.
watch Black Widow, like, there are so many flaws on the CGI. Shang-Chi was okay. I think I don't remember there was some flaws.
I like
Spider-Man
spoilers.
No Way Home had some flaws as well. Like when Andrew saves MJ, bro. That's like I love that
I
scene,
don't
but I have to
I
admit,
don't know that we've had as good of CG as we had in this movie since this movie. I mean, that's just
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't know.
Looked up Love and Thunder, like yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, TV shows on Lego's YouTube channel. That's cool. Good to know.
that's nice.
Our
Man.
movie says I wanted to leave during Meg 2.
You know,
Oh,
I think Luke Ponto. I think he left, or yeah,
really?
it was like I'd rather punch my nuts for 5
It
seconds
was
and watch this movie.
if if uh if
Luke Ponto's
what was the
amazing.
name of it? No One Will Save You. If it had been in theaters, I went to watch it, I would have walked out during that movie.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Least favorite movie of this year. 80s Kid from 90s. The only action figures today worth $25. G.I. Joe Classified Series. Okay. I don't know much about the G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah, me neither.
Kenny, I wish Eternals was as awesome as this stream. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
LOL.
Kenny speaking nothing but facts. Man, y'all are harsh tonight. That's
Damn,
okay.
it's
I love
okay.
it. That's what we're here for. I love Nomadland.
It was
I do.
good,
I
yeah.
think it's a really great movie.
Yeah, solid.
80s Kid Drew was cool. Everyone else was lame. I disagree.
I disagree, but I agree with Drew. It was amazing.
It was really cool. Dark movies. Never seen anything from Chloe.
Okay.
Well, if you watched Eternals, you have.
Yeah, you should definitely watch Nomadland. I think you're
Yeah.
gonna like that.
Except for Eternals, okay.
Yeah.
Kitty, outside of Eternals, Chloe is fantastic with careful, driven dramas. I think she was fantastic
Even
in
in the
this one as
Eternals,
well.
I think they were. Look at Joy. Like
Yeah, there were some awesome character moments in this movie. Dark movies. I need to add some of her films to my watch list. Definitely.
Yep.
Zach, there were 3 writers for a film. Okay. Well, I was looking at. I saw a couple others that were given some credit too. So, but she was involved in it. So I'll say that. Cosmic, I got to sign off for the night. Y'all are awesome. All seriousness, DJ Jason, I'm proud of y'all for all the work you put into this stream. I may not like Eternals, but I absolutely respect y'all. Well, that's great. I hope you'll come back and finish the stream later and see what else we had to say.
yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
I
Well,
really
first,
think that
thank you so much for this idea, and man,
yeah,
we love you, man. Thank you so much, man.
I think we're going to give a few more good points that hopefully will change some of y'all's mind.
Yeah.
So good night, Cosmic. Thanks again. Kenny, some people trash it because of POC and LGBTQ representation. Those are not good reasons to not like the film. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I remember. I like at first people were just talking about them. Like, but that doesn't like come on, like that doesn't like like a review. It's like okay, yeah, maybe you didn't like that. Okay, that's fine, but your review shouldn't be based on like oh yeah, they tried to put agendas. Like seriously, like what is that review? Like you're not telling me is the story good? Are the characters likable? Are the villains okay? Well, nobody. They were just saying oh they forced a kiss, they forced
I
like
had some friends that were giving me some of those comments. Like, I'm not
yeah, me
watching
too. I
that.
was
I
like, come
heard
on,
it was this, and it's even getting canceled in other countries because of it. And
yeah, and I was like, look, like I don't think like that.
well,
Yeah,
then
like
you
and it
watch
was
it,
one
and it's like
scene.
a peck on the lips. Like, it wasn't even like there was no tongue or any of that stuff. Even like,
Yeah, like
not that it would have been a big issue to me if it was, but
yeah,
I'm
like I was
just,
like, you
it's not
you know, it
even.
reminds me of Lightyear, the same thing. Like I thought Lightyear wasn't really good, but people were just talking about oh that lesbian kiss. I'm like, but
Yep,
how is that lesbian kiss?
it was barely anything.
Yeah, it was barely anything. It was on the background. Yo, like your daughter just graduated. Of course, you're gonna kiss like the person you live with. Like it's an accomplishment, you know. Like come on.
Yeah,
And anyway, and okay, I respect if you don't like that. Anyway, I'm not here to tell you you should like or not. That's up to you.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
can't base your review just on that. Like I remember articles were just based on that. I was like, but nobody's telling me like, is the movie nice? Like, are the special effects? Sorry, are is the animation good? Is Chris Evans good as a Lightyear? Like nobody was talking about that. They were just like, oh, they forced this. I'm like, come on, man, you can't base
Yeah.
your review just on that.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't tell you enough how much I hate the people that are. No, I don't hate the people, but I hate the comments people make about forced agendas. Like it just aggravates me
yeah,
to no end.
yeah. Like, I'm
Because
just well,
most of
it's
the
just
people that are saying there's forced agendas are the people with the agendas.
yeah, most
Put
of the
that and put
time,
it into a short.
yeah.
All right, let's move on from that. 80s said bye. Agreed. Bye, Cosmic. Not Cosmic. Had amazing sleep. Whoop. Okay. And then I hit it. Bring it back. I thought Drew was going to be the villain. I was really happy he wasn't as well. I agree. I like Drew. He wasn't with the don't intervene BS. Yeah. He
We're gonna touch
didn't
about
care.
that,
But I mean, if you're working for Erisham, like, and you're the say you're Ajax and you're the leader, like I'd be scared too. Like that's a
yeah,
menacing dude. Like I
yeah, for
don't
sure,
know.
yeah,
Till next time, Cosmic.
yeah.
Kenny says the plot twist of Icarus being the villain would have been great if I cared about these relationships.
Okay.
That's a take. 80s kid, what's everyone's favorite donut flavor?
That's a good question. I'm gonna go simple. Honestly, I love the. I don't know if you guys have that, but the Boston chocolate. Like, so there's like some things inside the donut, and it's just covered with chocolate. That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have that. Like here in Canada, we have that Tim Hortons. So yeah.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, it's very popular here.
Yeah, we've got some little small donut shops around where I am. I have to drive a ways if I want to get to a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' or something like that. But
oh my god! Like I remember there used to be a Dunkin' Donuts near my house, but now I think they don't exist anymore. At least where I am, I think not even in Canada. I think they're gone.
Oh. Well, they're
but
building one right now
Krispy.
about an hour away from me, and I'm excited for it to get there. But I mean, it's an hour away from me, so.
Oof, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same town where my movie theater's at, so I guess that's something. But
Oh, okay, yeah. So what is your favorite flavor of donut?
So since you brought that up, it sounds like similar to what my local donut shop has for a Long John, where it's got the chocolate icing and it's got a Bavarian cream center and stuff, and that's really good.
Yeah. Nice.
That's probably my favorite. But I'm also good with just a regular glazed donut too. I mean,
Oh yeah, me too.
as long as it's warm, like a good warm glazed donut.
You know what? Thanks to 80s kids, I'm going to get donuts tomorrow. Like it's been a while I didn't get some donuts, man.
We wound up on the topic of donuts and an eternal stream.
I know. What's your favorite 80s kids? Tell us in the comment section.
There you go. It's a good idea. Icarus's betrayal, poorly developed family drama. I disagree. Like I felt it when he turned. Like seeing the reaction.
You know what? I think Kingo really delivers like
Absolutely.
This drama, like attention. I think Kingo really is the Kingo in Fast, but really Kingo. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, and Sprite.
We had multiple characters. Maybe not everyone had the right whatever you think in as far as development for that particular
Yeah,
scene,
but
but we had a few characters that it hit
yeah,
them
yeah,
hard, and I felt the way it hit them.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was,
Especially Kingo, like that was oof.
yeah, yeah. And Kingo, I mean, he just completely abandoned everybody at that point. I mean,
I want to touch that later on because I feel
okay,
like people really hated Kingo for that, and I wanna discuss that later
okay.
on.
80s kid, give me a glazed or give me death. Apple crumb with apple filling. Interesting. I don't
Oh,
think I've had one
interesting.
like
I
that.
never had something like that.
Glaze is the goat.
Yeah.
Apple crumb. All right, we're on donuts here. Yay, Feige hyped Gemma as the lead, but the movie doesn't seem to have a lead. I felt like Gemma was the lead for this. I just felt like
Yeah.
she wasn't a great lead for this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
She's a great actress. This movie wasn't the one to have her in the lead for because I felt like other performances were stronger. And if you're going to be the lead performance, you need to be the strongest performance of the movie, or at
Yeah,
least
like
one of the top two strongest
yeah,
performances.
and honestly, I've checked other like YouTube channels like when they rank the characters. Honestly, Cersei was never in the top 5,
Yeah, yeah.
or like barely in the top 5. Like
I thought her character was fine.
yeah, like she wasn't bad, but it's just like yeah, when the problem is like her character is not really interesting, and you have like these other characters that seem way more interesting, and yeah, like you just care more about them. So that was really weird choice. Yeah, that, I agree with Ken here.
Yeah, Kenny, you got a good point on that one.
Yep.
80s kid, my favorite is the chocolate cream filled donuts and jelly donuts. Okay.
Yes.
Kenny actually likes Sprite. Of all the Eternals, she was the one that made me care about them the most. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Hey, they agree on something. Zacatech says, I like Sprite too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about the soda, yeah, that's pretty good.
Like I said, I didn't hate Sprite. It's just like she wasn't that interesting compared to the others.
It's funny. I'm out here defending Eternals, and all these people are jumping in defending Sprite.
I know, right?
That's the one part I didn't like. That's pretty funny. Why is it called Multiverse Saga if they barely reference the multiverse? It sounds last minute. Oh wait.
Yeah, that too is something probably we're gonna talk later on because yeah.
Which of course, yeah, we'll get to some of that.
Yeah,
Sprite was good. Yeah, see, they were only hated Icarus, but for the right reasons. Okay.
Okay.
Not because you hated the character, I assume, but because you hated the character.
Oh man.
Hated that he was bad. I'm assuming is what he's getting at. Ajax being dead was another thing that dragged the movie down for me. Let that death be a part of the linear development of the story. It being a flashback made me care less.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah. That like I pointed out, that was one of my. It was criminally like that. To have Ajax already dead, like we don't even have one scene with her like in the actual like timeline. So that was really weird to just see flashbacks of her. But yeah, that I agree completely with Ken there.
Zacatech says him killing Ajax gave me a visceral reaction. Yeah, but I mean it was effective when he finally did do it, though. I mean when you got to see how he did it and what happened with that scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was done very effectively. It was just not done in the right way.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? That I'm kind of contradicting myself saying that. But I felt the emotion from it, but it wasn't done in a way that felt satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That okay.
Yeah.
Ajax and Gilgamesh were characters that deserve more development.
I
agree, but I don't know that they could have. I mean, not without this movie being longer than what Marvel was going to allow it to be.
Yeah.
They were already stretching themselves way too thin. They could have done a 6 Eternals movie instead of 10, and I think we would have got a lot more fleshed out stories, and it would have been.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you're saying. Yeah,
but then we're missing characters that we really like too if we do that. So
originally there were supposed to be 12 Eternal characters, but then they cut it to 10, which 12, which actually I think after the like behind the scenes, Harry Styles was supposed to be on the movie like for a longer period than just the credit scene.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Harry Styles. Boy, we'll get to that too. Here's what I will give Eternals. The final battle was awesome, but one scene does not make a movie good. I agree, but I think the build up to that scene was better than we've gotten in the MCU television series.
Yeah, so because like honestly, like I'm pretty sure if I just watched that scene without context, yeah, it's probably awesome. But like I don't know, like it just feels like okay, they're just fighting and that's it. Like once you like you said, how they build up to that scene, that is way like
Because that final battle scene doesn't work if you're not invested in the characters at least a little bit.
like when Fastos grabbed Icarus, he's like, "Stay here" or something like that. Like you can feel like this guy has really like something against Icarus. You know, he was always the boss.
Feeling what Icarus did to him in that moment, and he's using that feeling.
Yeah.
So without the rest of the movie up to that battle wouldn't have mattered.
Or also Makari when
she thinks Druig's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like thinks Drew is killed or whatever happened to him. Yeah, she goes off the chain. Zach says it's funny. Kevin Feige said this was the best movie MCU ever produced. Then he realized he wants to make Snyder DC movies. I mean, maybe so. Yeah,
like the best thing about this movie,
he did kind of overhype this movie before it came out, though.
Yeah.
And I think that may be one of the reasons that so many people have issues with it is because it was so hyped up before it came, knowing we had the reigning director of the year coming into this movie, and
I mean, but then, like I would say, don't hype up too much your projects. Like even WandaVision was kind of the same, but again, like I mean, he has to sell you, so he doesn't have a choice to say, yeah, it's really good. It's like you ask an owner restaurant, hey, is your food good? You're not gonna tell him like there's some variety. It's okay. No, you're gonna tell him it's really good. Yeah. You should try. You have to sell that. You have to sell it. So yeah, I guess he doesn't have a choice. But I will agree. Yeah, that was really hyped up. Yeah.
Screenson says, Ken, they all deserve development. They had too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. I'll agree with you on that. Zach, stop cursing on live. Zach says never. In the show. Yeah.
These guys, man.
Telling truths. Then was a good character too. Thena, I think is what he's saying there. Yeah. I really like Thena. But Sprout wasn't a teenager. That's why I could empathize with her. Yeah, I get you. But she still had that same personality, I guess is the only way I can put that. Sprout was an insult that was hilarious. You're using words that this Arkansas boy don't know. So
yeah, me too.
I went to school in hillbilly. I went to hillbilly school. I don't know words. Kim says she couldn't experience romance because if she did, someone was going to jail. I mean, yeah,
it is true. Yeah,
to hear that, yeah, I mean, I get why she's upset. I'm just,
But yeah, you see, like that. Oh, sorry. Like you see that. That's why it was charming from her because, like, remember like that first scene where she was, what was her power again? Like she could.
So she had like changed her shape and stuff for that one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So she changed her shape to flirt with a guy, because like, well, if the guy sees how she looks, like, so that was sad, like that was kind of sad. And also when Kingo told her like, oh, like the story about Peter Pan, etc. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand like her pain, here.
Now, look, we're here to change people's minds on Eternals, not to change my mind on Sprite.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. They want to change your it's so funny because like they don't like Eternals, but they're trying to make you change on Sprite.
They're defending the movie more than I am.
So you'll love even more Eternals,
Maybe y'all ought to put this a little bit higher on your rankings since you're defending it so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Screens and says, would you want a relationship with someone who likes skids? Yikes.
Oh man. Sprite.
I just still found her character so annoying. I don't know.
But yeah, she was a bit annoying. I won't lie about that.
Yeah, says she couldn't date at all.
Yeah.
Ken says exactly. She doesn't age. Yeah, I get all that.
Yep.
You hit the nail on the head. That sounds painful. Makari and Fastos versus Icarus was awesome. Yes, it was. That was one of the best scenes in the entire movie as far as as far as action scenes, that's one of the best ones. Screen, I want more running from Makari. She's the origin of all MCU speedsters.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I hope when we see her again that we do get more running. Yeah. The real what was going on with the Celestials blew my mind. I agree. Whenever we found out what was really going on, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, me neither. That was crazy.
If you tell me you knew that was what was coming, I don't believe you. Dark movies still all with you guys. And Eternals needs more love.
Yes.
It made the movie for me. Ken says we learned that the Celestials are powerful but not very wise. Oh, we're gonna have another argument. Zach says
How so?
so. Dark movies. Oh, geez, still haven't seen 5 to 7 of Ahsoka yet. Well,
You're missing a little
catch up.
bit.
Finale's coming this week, so
Yeah, I
I
need
need
to
to catch up.
Yeah, man.
Ahsoka Tuesday, Loki Thursday, same. Oh, it's the same week. Okay, I didn't realize it was hitting this week, so that's crazy.
Okay, that's cool.
They can create life to harvest life energy from a planet, but can't create life energy to birth their siblings. So that's
for the Celestials.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know how you would explain that. So, I mean, maybe Zach Attack's gonna come back and has more info on that. Loki, I'm excited for, but Ahsoka not so much, but I'll watch. Okay? Zach, the energy they used to make life probably not the same for the world. It's very possible. I mean, they may not have the full potential to create a living being. I mean, they created Eternals.
Yeah.
So they've got some type of, but I mean, what does it take to make a Celestial? And
I mean, their life cycle anyway, like it was always like that. Like
and if a world has to have so much population for it to work, then maybe that amount is just not enough. Like maybe all they can do is plant the seed and let it go from there, and it has to build on its own. I mean, that
was interesting, honestly. Like that's where you're like, okay, the Celestials are kind of cruel in that sense, but also that's why I love the Icarus conflict, because like, all right, so you're being selfish because you want to, because like you have people that you love, but because of that you're not letting other people, that other billions of people to be born, but on the other side it's like, yeah, but you're gonna kill like so many people, so many innocent people. So that's why it was interesting, the conflict, like that's why like I really bought that moment of Icarus. I was like, damn, Icarus is really showing this, and yeah, that's why it was really interesting. Like I love that concept.
I'm going to start speeding through again because we need to get back to our topics.
Yeah.
You can create life Infinity Stones, but feel like you need to kill an entire planet full of life in order to birth your friends, not to mention you already effed up because the previous beings. I mean, even gods aren't perfect, apparently. Yeah. At least not these. I don't know. I know the Infinity Stones thing, but I mean, if it was... I'm not sure how to put this. They are almost like scientists with trial and error. I mean, they're doing
everything they want. Well, yeah, kind of.
I don't know. Yeah, I can see your point there, but I mean, you've got to tell the story somehow. Yeah, there's some things we just have to not nitpick. Because we start nitpicking, we're not going to enjoy Endgame. We're not going to enjoy Infinity War, because I've got just as many nitpicks I can make about those movies right now as I could this one. So
yeah, especially Endgame. Like
you get to a point where it's like, are you going to suspend your disbelief for something, or are you going to go out of your way to just try to find everything wrong with it you can? Because I guarantee you, every one of these MCU movies, from 1 to 32, you're going to find issues with if you start doing that.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. 80s Kid, No Way Home is good when the Amazing Spider-Man arrives, as well as the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Those are fun. Ken says, you created turned on you.
Your creator, maybe?
Zach says that happens. Whoa.
What's going on?
They were in control for millions of years. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until... Yeah, humanity influenced the Eternals. Yeah, it wasn't until this time that something happened. I mean, that we know of. Ken says, and then all that to find out that you can just pull beings off planets, but for some reason you couldn't pull your previous creations off. Make it make sense. I'm not sure.
And then all that to find out. Pull beings off. Okay.
I'm not sure what you're getting at there. I'm not making sense of what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry. We love you, man.
Again, they were never in
I
control.
didn't get it either.
Yeah, they're never in control. They couldn't even control their previous creations. I'm assuming you're talking about the
Oh,
Deviant.
I think he's talking about the Deviants, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably so.
Yeah. Which that. Yeah.
Okay, so going back, pull off the you couldn't pull off the previous creation. Maybe so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to explain that. Yeah, you may have a good point there. So good job. 1 point for Ken. But again, I mean, you got to tell the story, and that's not something that bugs me. Like even after hearing you explain it, it doesn't bug me. Ken, they were just throwing things against the wall and hoping it stuck. I mean,
No, this is not Sony's Spider-Man universe, though.
Yeah, I don't feel that way about this.
No. Like I feel like they really wanted to expand the MCU with
the more cosmic you get, the more things are not going to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we got into Endgame and we tried to explain time travel in a way that didn't really work, and it doesn't make sense.
Not even the director or the writers
understood what was happening with it.
So they don't even explain the same way.
To me, the time travel stuff in Endgame was worse than what you're explaining here for Eternals.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't really make too much sense.
Some things you just you just have to say, okay, well, that's the way it is. And
good night, 80s kids from 90s. Thank you so much for joining the live
thanks
stream.
For being here. Put in a lot of interesting topics tonight and comments tonight. And we
I love the donut
find out
question.
about donuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the donut question.
Second text says, I don't understand how that's a problem. 80s kid. Good night. We're just going to do a couple more, and we're going to move on to the next part. I like Lightyear a lot. The kiss was literally 0.2 seconds. I agree. It was nothing. I like the movie. Oh, hey, Mama Minutes. I just saw who's on there. What's up, Mom?
Mama Minutes.
I like the movie. Don't matter to me what other people like. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I will say the fact that my mom likes this movie might be a point of contention there, because I don't actually agree with her on most movie.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know. Maybe that's saying something good or bad. I'm not sure. But thanks, Mom, for tuning in and for leaving a comment. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for tuning in. Seriously, that's so cool.
It says Mama Minutes. Yeah, I don't know if you were on that stream when my mom come in as Coral Peace, and Ken said, "Hey, Mama Minutes," and so she went and changed her name to that just because of that stream.
Mama Minutes. Nice. Oh, that's so cool, Mama Minutes. That's so nice, man.
Says A. She says maple French cruller. There's an interesting choice. She's doing her donuts. Nice. Zach, that scene hit me hard after all the stuff they went through. SMH. All caps. You want to talk about underrated? We should talk about Lightyear. 1 minute is in the building. Let's go.
Is it underrated, Ken, or underappreciated? What? Because I don't know. Like I feel it's more underappreciated than underrated. Like I mean, I didn't like it personally, but I know some friends that enjoyed it. It was okay for them, But that's where I'm like, maybe it's underappreciated. So yeah, I'm not sure.
We're gonna end it with this one for now in the comments and move on. And it is Screens
Take care,
Insane.
Jason, man.
I'm out for the night. See you soon. Thank you for joining. I appreciated you being here, Jason.
Thank you so much, Jason, for being here. My other Jason.
All right, this next tab I want to do is just for fun because it's something I really enjoyed. That is, do you ship Makari and Druig?
Yes. 1000% yes, man.
This to me is one of the best relationships we've had in any comic book movie ever.
Yeah, it's so interesting, so cute. And it came out of nowhere. Druig was so dark and everything, and then with Makari, I remember when Faisal was like, "Wait, does this just happen?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I felt the same way." But it was so satisfying to see it. Yes. Come on, man. Yep. Give me more Druig and Makari. Seriously, give me more.
So much fun with that. And Makari, so going into this movie, I was already excited for the Makari character because of the actress playing her. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and she played Connie in Walking Dead in the latter few seasons. Yeah. And that was always so cool having a deaf character in Walking Dead with the world that they're in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really nice.
When I found out she was going to be in this movie, I'm like, yes, because she plays so well. She's that in real life too, So having an awesome, incredible deaf actress come in and play a superhero. Is this the first one we've gotten on the big screen
Yeah,
like this?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah,
Which I know we've got Echo coming now too, but
yeah.
Bakari was the
The
one,
first one. Yeah, yeah.
and she did such a good job in this movie. Like she was able to act and outact some of these other actors with facial
Yeah, yeah.
expressions. You know what
And
I
with so
mean?
little scenes, like
Yeah,
she was barely there.
right. And the action scenes she did were great, and this stuff with Druig, the way she was able to show emotion back and forth
Yeah.
without having to speak was tremendous. And
Like also, like that's one of the things I love about this movie, like the casting. Like look who they
yeah,
cast. Like it's so diverse. It's so maybe
absolutely.
some will say it's agendas, but man, fuck it. Like this was really nice to see a deaf character and like everyone from other cultures as well. Like it
Yeah.
was so nice to see it. Like
Yeah, there were some complaints I know I heard about gender swapping stuff too for this movie and for some of the characters from the comics.
yeah, yeah, I heard that too. But I'm like, come on, like nobody knows Eternals. Like
If it
seriously.
doesn't
Like,
affect the characters as a character, whether
yeah.
they're male or female, then it doesn't matter for the movie.
And also like because they needed to because like Eternals is what like I think it was in the 60s or 70s, and like I said like nobody knows
We
Eternals, so
we need to update. Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. This is all new characters being introduced, similar to how they did with Guardians. Like
yeah.
you just cast the best actor you can for the roles and let them go with it.
Like when
They
you
did it.
take Shang-Chi, his story on the in the comics is nothing like the what we got in the movie, nothing,
Yeah.
like almost nothing. So they completely changed.
There's a lot of liberties in a lot of these things, and it's changed a lot. You
Yeah,
can't go into it expecting the comic book
yeah,
and trying
exactly.
to hold on to those stories. I mean, they could have held on to Gore the God Butcher a little bit more than they did, but outside
Yeah.
of that particular instance, don't hold on to the comic book stories too much. Anyway, I'm gonna quit hating on Love and Thunder since I actually didn't hate that movie, and yet I seem to sound like I did. But yeah, so Makari and Druid, great pairing,
Yeah,
and regardless if you hate Eternals or not, you can't hate them two together
yeah,
because
you can't hate that. It's so
they just
cute.
make you feel good. Yeah. All right, next topic. How did you feel about Deviants as a villain?
Oh my god, I wanted to talk about this for so long. Like,
All right,
all right,
have at it.
so this is where I think there's a problem in the movie. Um, the deviants themselves, I think it was one of the best concept of this movie. I'm just talking about the concept, like the source material, because it was interesting to see, like like it was interesting to see. You have the Eternals, you have the deviants, and also you have the creator, which is the Celestials, and that's where you see like how like they don't give a damn the Celestials, like they do kind of whatever they want. And it was very interesting to see like how this deviant, I forgot his name though, but how the main deviant like was like, oh yeah, like that talk that he had with Icarus, I believe, in the at the forest. Like it was very interesting because he was like, yeah, like for millions of years, like we did the dirty work that you did now, but now like they since we are the flaw now, they want you to hunt us down, like they want you to correct their flaws, which it originated with the Celestials, and that was really interesting. But I feel like at the end of the day, they didn't do nothing with the Deviants, and that's where I feel like, man, what did they do here? Like it was so interesting. But I think it was Jason who pointed this out, like the other Jason. They had to a lot to cook, and I think that yeah, the Deviants was a lot to cook with this. That's why I think they didn't find room for the Deviants. Yeah, I thought like that fight between Thena and the Deviant like was a bit like pointless, at one it was just like it was thrown there to have another fight scene with Thena, which it wasn't bad, but it wasn't needed necessarily. So
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like it's a missed opportunity, the Deviants,
yeah,
and yeah. What
yeah.
about you, DJ?
I felt like they were pretty lackluster. There were some cool scenes with the Deviants.
Yeah,
I liked a couple of the fights between them and the Eternals, but I think you could have had a better MacGuffin for this movie, and maybe the movie doesn't get as much hate as it does if it has a better villain than or a better interpretation of the Deviants if they're going to use
yeah,
Deviants. What they did. Some of the choices didn't make a lot of sense with what they were doing.
yeah,
They were kind of. It almost felt like they were forced in. like to be this thing, and then winds up being that they're not actually all that bad, and I kind of agree with them.
Yeah,
Like by the end of the movie, like I kind of get it. I'm like, yeah, they
yeah,
were
yeah.
thrown
I was
here, and then they
totally
were
with them. Like,
abandoned, and they had people sent after to kill them, like
yeah,
for nothing of their fault and their own. But um, that's kind of how I felt about it. I wish we could have had something better than what we got with the Deviants
yeah,
throughout
me
this whole
too.
movie, because I think that did put a damper on the movie
Yeah.
and the enjoyment for a lot of people for it. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. That's where I think this was a problem. Like, it's not the concept. The concept is actually brilliant. It's just like
yeah,
how do you fit in this movie? That's where it didn't work, I think. And
yeah,
I would have loved, I think, to have the deviants like in the second movie, which they would have been the main focus. Because this is huge.
yeah.
It's not just for to throw them away and that's it. Like, this is really huge. What we're talking here, like literally, like
Yeah.
they're kind of brothers with the Eternals, like literally. So this is really huge. It's
I
not
mean,
like
yeah. So I was fixing to bring something up, but I'm going to bring it up a little later. So we'll,
yeah.
I'll move
Yeah.
on from my comment about the deviants on that. If
All
you got
right.
anything else to say before we move on,
No. That's just it's unfortunate.
okay. All right. Why do people not resonate with this movie?
Ooh. All right. Do you want to go or I go?
Go ahead.
All right. So
I like your facial expression on this. I'm very curious what you're going to say.
because I wrote some things that I believe that people didn't like or are the mistakes that this movie had. But I will say the biggest mistake I think is just an MCU movie. Like it needs it's obligated. Like this movie, unfortunately for this movie, it needs to follow the MCU. It's obligated to follow so MCU timeline, and that's where I think it got hurt. Because why do I say this? Because like people, what are people were wondering for so long? It was like, why didn't the Eternals help in Thanos? Why did the Eternals didn't show up? Why did every time we talk about the Eternal, it's we always have these questions, and I think that's the problem because it is true. If you go with the MCU continuity, like it doesn't, it is true that this movie kind of feels weird. Like you like I can understand that Druid didn't help. Okay, he doesn't give a damn. He cares about these people, and I respect that. Kingo, but you're gonna tell me that Cersei never cared to help the others? Like Cersei is like one of the most caring person like that we know from the Eternal. So that's why I'm one of the things. It's like the problem is like I think for me, I would have loved that this movie would have been in the past and or maybe on
Yeah.
another planet after. But the fact that they had to deal with the present and the past each time, and also I know like I don't like that when movies do a lot of flashbacks or it's not like I love to have one flashback at one point and that's it. But when they do that constantly, that
Back and
throws
forth.
me. Yeah, I'm surprised that actually this movie worked for me, but I know like a lot of people it didn't because of that. It gets confusing, like when I talk about my friend that she came with us and she was like, I was confused at some parts because like like I didn't know if this is now or before, and because they did a lot of that. So yeah, so I think like I said, the period of time, I think they should have stick with one period of time and they should have stayed
You
with
can
that.
mix
Not,
you can mix this question in with your comments here. What would you have done differently to have caused left
oh,
divisiveness? Put that
yeah,
in
so
with your.
yes. All right, so yeah, I think so yeah. Why didn't resonate? Because it doesn't feel like yeah. First of all, it doesn't feel like an MCU movie. Like this is more darker. I feel like it's less like comedy. It's less. There's not that many reference of the MCU per se. Like they do mention Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, but it's not like
Yeah,
I think we
they're
are
almost shoehorned in.
yeah exactly that yeah exactly. So I think like we are always expecting someone to show up. In Ant-Man, it was Falcon who show up. So we always expect someone will come, someone will be a familiar face, but we didn't have any of this here, and maybe that's something people didn't like. Like I said, it's very different from every Marvel movie. Like you can feel like this Chloe Zhao wanted to do something completely different, and I loved it, but it was bold, and that's the problem. So when you take risks like this, there's a part that won't like that, and I believe that's another issue. Like it was
Yeah,
too bold, and it was like it could have gone either way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's where I see people. So those are the things I have on my head, like that. Like I think like I said, the period of time. the way it was structured with the flashbacks here and on. And what was the last thing I said? Well, anyway, like people will figure it out. But yeah, those are the things I have in my head. Oh, and also the lead. The lead wasn't as interesting
Yep.
as people would think, because when you watch, for example, Shang-Chi, what made it great? The lead was fantastic, and your villain was amazing as well. Here we have a confusing villain, and when it's revealed, I mean, I liked Icarus as a villain, but my main villain were supposed to be the deviants, and then like they still tried to put the deviants as villains, which didn't make really, that was really weird.
It really didn't matter by the end. I mean, you had the fight with the
Yeah,
deviant at the end of the movie that just was like, okay, well, we didn't even need this because Icarus is our villain now.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why I think like the villain and the lead were not the best aspects of this movie. So that also, I think people didn't really click with that. So those are my theories. I believe those are the things I heard and that I could feel also. But like I said, for me, luckily it didn't turn that way. But yeah, what do you think about DJ, or what do
So
you? Mhm.
some of the same points you made, and even to piggyback on that, a lot of people don't think this affects the MCU whatsoever. We've seen that in our comments already.
Yeah,
I strongly disagree. I think the fact that Arishem did show up the way he did, even if maybe he should have done that to the Deviants before, who knows, whatever. That aside, the fact he did show up the way he did and everybody saw him, even though we haven't talked about it, I get it.
yeah, yeah,
It hasn't been brought up hardly at all. But I mean, I don't even know. Are all these MCU shows and movies happening very similar? I think they just put out a timeline recently about where it's
yeah,
supposed to take place where and the years and all that stuff. Okay, that stuff kind of gets thrown to the side to me because I prefer a more standalone MCU film and
yeah,
not trying to tie it in with every single thing that's going on and happening. And I think it holds a movie back with a movie like this having to shoe in talking about the Avengers, talking about Thanos. If we didn't have to have all that stuff, if those things weren't put into this movie works so much better
yeah,
because you could have just put this in the 80s time frame before Captain Marvel ever got here, before most, I mean, maybe you had Cap was on the planet, but that was it. You know, you could have
yeah,
set this movie in the 80s, had all the events take place, and maybe whatever was going on with the Celestial, maybe it doesn't rise above the water. You know, keep it enough below
yeah,
that you know it's people don't notice it as much or something,
yeah.
uh, and let that go or something. I think if they had done something like that, kept this movie completely separate, and people say that it has to uh, tie in. The first Ant-Man and the second Ant-Man,
No, it
I
doesn't.
enjoyed both of those movies. Neither of those were big tie-ins. You had the one scene in the first one with Falcon, you know, wasn't really a big deal. And
Yeah,
those movies were pretty standalone. He fought his own villain. It
yeah,
ended, and the Eternals, or maybe you take the Eternals and you make it a cosmic movie and you don't make it about Earth at the start. Like put it on a
yeah,
different planet, make it somewhere else. And
yeah,
then it works better. I just think them having to tie it in with the other movies hurt this movie on a scale with other people. And I hear it right now where people are talking about, well, nothing's tying in enough. Well, because when they try to tie in things when it's not needed in a movie, you get the Eternals.
yeah.
And they're trying to explain things like the Thanos situation that they shouldn't have had to explain because it could have been its own standalone thing without the whole Thanos thing. Or
Yeah,
make it
that,
take place or start the movie and say 5 years before Thanos blip. Like, you know, and have it there
yeah,
and don't leave a cliffhanger like Arishem coming and grabbing him and everybody seeing him. Like just have Arishem warp him to where he is or something, or have, you know, give him some other powers or something for that. But there were ways around it, I think, that they didn't have to
yeah.
do what they did to cause confusion.
I think another thing that you brought up, it's the ending too. One thing I remember with my friends when the movie finished, like the problem with the MCU now, that's why like that is another problem. When you have an MCU movie today, you don't even know when you're gonna have a sequel. So to have a
Yeah,
cliffhanger like that, you're just like, when are we gonna see this? Like maybe in
yeah,
5, 10 years, and that sucks
right.
because you're losing that. And yeah, it was confusing, like to end on a cliffhanger. Like what? Like my friends loved everything except the ending. They were like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. And this movie come out toward the end of the pandemic. Maybe when they were filming it, it was close to the pandemic. You know, I don't know the whole story and all that,
Yeah,
but maybe they planned on this stuff coming sooner to us. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
maybe they had a plan to where we were going to find out more of what was going on with the Celestials. We're going to find out more of what was going on with all these other Phase 4 projects that got delayed and delayed and delayed. And maybe the time frame they had where they were putting out way too many movies at once, and it's definitely hurt the quality of them.
Yeah.
Maybe all that in their initial plan, it was going to resolve faster for us, and we wouldn't have to wait as long to find out what was going on. I mean, that's something to think about with this too. When you're looking at this as a bad movie, I mean, how many times have we watched a movie and then we go back to it later and it's like, maybe that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
kind of
that
thing.
happens.
So,
yeah.
Because of
like,
other events in a franchise that change your perspective on what happened in previous movies.
Yeah.
So,
like that's why like I agree with a lot of people. Like, you know, like it's so typical to hear Eternal is a great movie, just not a great MCU movie. You know, like
yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, and because honestly, it should have been like that. Like that is my main critique. Like, I think the problem, it had to be MCU. Like, I mean, like there's no, like you said, it should have been separated. Like, just separated, either another planet or okay, if it's Earth, another time period. You know, but yeah, like you said, like you have to tie in that. Yeah, like we how much time did we spend to explain Thanos? Like, oh, when Thanos snap, well, that's where, like, you know, like that you're overcooking.
And that's, I mean, and sitting at the table talking about who can lead the Avengers now and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's all 10, 15 minutes of a movie that we could have used for more character for development.
Yeah. But I like like Gilgamesh when he said, when Icarus was like, oh, I couldn't lead them, and Gilgamesh
it was funny.
Like, Ajax didn't even choose you to lead us. That was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I agree. So those are some of the things I have with it. I do think you mentioned the Gemma Chan thing. That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I've already touched on that some. I'm sure we're getting some comments about why other people dislike this movie. The storytelling in general, though, I don't think was the main issue with this movie. You can nitpick the little details and the stuff. And Ken, I wasn't like knocking you for being nitpicky on that stuff. That is your prerogative. It is perfectly fine that you're doing that, because that affects your enjoyment of the movie. And because of that, it makes sense that you don't like it, because you do look at those little details. I mean, that's part of why you're on YouTube, because you like to look at those details and talk about them. So perfectly fine. I get every bit of that. I may not change your mind at all tonight, because that's going to be something that bugs you every time you watch it, no matter what, because it's already in your head, and that's fine. But the story in general, I really liked the emotion that this movie gave me. I really liked every scene, the beautiness of so many of these shots that were given.
Yes.
It was mesmerizing to watch. If I was going to do anything else differently, I think maybe I don't know, give it another hour. make this as long as
development.
I'm not the biggest fan of I'm fixing to lose everybody. I'm not the biggest fan of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm going to pause for dramatic effect.
Oh my god!
Because of the length. I usually have issues with lengths of movies. That movie, I did love Zack Snyder. Oh, lost a viewer. I did love Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I didn't like the length of it, and it took me a couple sittings to get through it, because I just can't hardly sit down for a 4-hour movie. I'm too antsy. I got to move around too much. It's just not in me. But this movie, as long as it was, I would have liked to have sat down for 2 sittings of this movie, because I wanted more, and I wanted them to tell me more. So that was something I think I would have changed on that.
Like, you know, like I touched like what people would dislike, but honestly, that's the thing. Like for me, I told you, like, I hate when they do flashbacks and etc. This movie might be the only one that I'm like, oh my god, this was so incredible. Like this was cool.
It was done in a very good way.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was done brilliantly for me. Like but like I said, I understand that can bug you, but then like, oh my god, for me it was brilliantly done. And yeah, I think what I would do differently, like I said, I would choose a time period, not do like 2 time periods and you have to go back and go forth. Maybe I would reduce a little. Either I would put this movie a bit longer, or I would reduce some characters. Like maybe instead of having 10, maybe I'll have like 8 or 7, so I can fully
Yeah.
flesh them out. Also, if I speak about the deviants as well, like I have to flesh them out as well. I don't want to just throw a deviant just to throw it like that. So maybe that's the thing I would adjust. But other than that, like me personally, I wouldn't adjust a lot of too many things. Like for me, it
Yeah.
was brilliantly done. But I understand that people would fix many things from this movie. But yeah,
Something else they could have done. This first movie could have been, if they wanted to keep it deviants and they wanted to keep it um, where it's separated from what's going on in the world now or in the MCU now,
hmm
just do the flashback as your movie. Get it all the way up to where Druig leaves. They finish off the deviants and then end the movie with seeing there's another deviant out there they missed. I mean,
yeah,
have it there, and then you use the rest of that time for the movie to develop characters in the past. And then we get to come, and for Eternals 2, we find out whatever's been going on with them and why they haven't been here for Thanos and stuff then.
yeah,
And we get a better fleshed out explanation than just, oh, Arishem told us not to interfere. Maybe it works better that way, and you keep it in the past, and nobody's hating on this movie for the first movie,
yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
and we go from there. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah. Although, like honestly, like I understand why like they didn't do anything. You know, like for me, it's credible. I
Yeah.
understand people don't
Yeah.
like it, but I mean, your God told you no. Like you don't want to mess with that guy. Like
Yeah.
have you seen
Yeah.
him? Like you don't want to mess with him. That's why I love Druid. Like he was the only one. No, like I want to do my own stuff. I don't even think
he was
this
willing to go against the grain.
exactly. That was cool, man. So yeah, like so yeah, honestly, yeah, sorry to disappoint Chad, but I wouldn't change too much because like for me it was good. Like I said, maybe reduce some characters or put a longer movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
And have a time period like you said, and that's it. Like honestly, yeah.
Yeah. All right. To piggyback off of that, could this, if it had the budget, been better as a series than a movie?
So I remember Cosmic Broadcast brought this up, and
Mm-hmm.
on paper, it looks better as a series, right? But it wouldn't work because it requires way too much CG. Like to put Arishem, that whole scene when he reveals what the Eternals are. Forget it. Like I can't see that as a show. Like that's way too much money. So that's why I say like on paper it would have been better to flesh out more the characters, but I don't know. I think this had to be a movie because this is like I don't know. Like I just feel the I don't know. Like for me, this works as a movie. It's just they needed to find time to put everything for everyone to have their moment and to be fleshed out more. That's what I think they should have done. But yeah, what about you? Do you think this would have been better as a show?
Honestly, I prefer watching a movie. I want a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I don't want to have to wait week to week for it. I watch a lot of shows. I enjoy the MCU shows they've put out, even if all of them haven't been fantastic. I've enjoyed them. But me personally, I'd rather keep this as a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe tighten the movie a little bit, cut a few things that I didn't think were necessary, add some more character development in other areas. Then I think you've got a great movie on your hands. Change out the deviants to something different, or change how you approach the deviants, and then you've got a great movie. That's just where I am on that particular aspect of it. I don't think it needed to be a series, but I can see if they had the budget big enough, because it would have to be a large budget.
A large budget, yeah.
I can see where at least in character development, a series could work. But after seeing a lot of these recent MCU series, I don't know that they would have made the character development.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why.
So I don't have faith that they would have done good with that. So anyway, all right, we'll do a few more comments, and then I've got 3 more questions that we're going to go through really quick because we're already on this 2 hours. So
all right, no worries, man.
We're gonna speed through some of this stuff. Trying to remember where we were. Okay, Screen Zen said good night, and Dark Movie said yes. Lightyear was a masterpiece.
All right.
I don't know that I call it a masterpiece, but
I respectfully disagree.
Yes, I said that. He said,
it's okay.
I mean, I thought maybe even the first half, but at least the first third was really good.
Yeah, like I remember when I reviewed this movie, like I remember I said like the first 20 minutes
Yeah.
was probably 10 out of 10 for me. And then the rest, I'm like, oh my god, this was Disney all over again. Like I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, no, you lost me. But like,
That's
yeah, I
true.
remember like I was like, oh my god, this might be my favorite Toy Story movie ever. Like, I was even like, I think it's 11 out of 10 because this is just magically done. It's incredible. And then I'm like, what the hell what the hell happened here? Like I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, that I will agree on that.
Have amazing night. Screens in. Yeah, everybody saying goodbye to screens in. Well, our comments filled up again. I thought we was about caught up earlier, and I agree. Dark. Okay. I disagree that you need to be invested in the characters to enjoy action scenes. I watch clips of karate movies. Okay, that I've never seen all the time. Yeah, I see what you're saying there too, but I think it meant more for these action scenes to understand why they have the emotions they had. That's what I was trying to say with that. I think. But I agree. I've watched a lot of action scenes of movies. I've not seen the movies of too.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't know that.
Yeah, so you can enjoy it, but like if you know the context, that's where you're going to truly enjoy it or fully enjoy it. Like you know, like you might
takes it over the top for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Because these action scenes were great, regardless if you see the rest of the movie. But if you hadn't seen the rest of the movie, I don't think they're as great.
Yeah.
Mama Minutes. Well, hi all. I'm late. Glad to see everyone that is here. We're glad that you're here.
Yeah, we're glad.
Ken said maybe make a planet full of Eternals and harvest that energy.
I think they had that already. It was Titan, no?
See, I don't know if we've gotten into that too much yet, but yeah, I believe you're right because we know that Eros that we're going to see the after credit. We'll talk about the after credit. He's brother of Thanos, and he's a Titan, or he's an Eternal. I mean,
yeah, he's an Eternal. Because in the comics, I believe Thanos was an Eternal, but with the deviant genes, which they didn't explain this here. Probably was too complicated.
I don't know that they're going to do that MCU or not, but
yeah, probably it's going to be too complicated. So yeah, no.
Yeah. Zekatek says, I felt like this was the most contemplative MCU film. Characters had to think about the issue and try to figure it out and not quip their way through it. Yeah. I agree. It was difficult for the characters to portray. What is it I'm trying to say here? To portray their way through explaining their feelings and what's going on with them, especially being what they were and finding out who they really were, and to say not quip their way through it. I'm not sure that particular aspect of it, but yeah, it was definitely a difficult character development type movie, and it would have been hard for anybody writing this, I think, to make it differently based on what they were trying to set up and do. Dark Movies. Okay, I'm gonna head off. Go to my live stream, setting everything up. See you guys later. Thank you for joining Dark Movies. I know you're extremely busy, and I will definitely check out your live stream after this if you're still going, and I assume you will be. But if not, I will watch the replay for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Darkman. Hopefully we can catch you on your stream, man. I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Ken says, all right, I'll stand down. Man, I know you're probably talking about me saying you have to let some of that stuff go, but you don't have to stand down. I'm not saying that at all. You speak your truth and you keep it up. That's just fine by me.
Yeah.
You're not bothering me at all. Jonathan Smith. I do agree Endgame was worse than Eternals. I don't think that's what I said, little brother. So this is my little brother. I'm going to go ahead and call him out.
How are you doing, man?
I'm just skipping through and not telling who this was, but I think he's trying to put words in my mouth here, so I'm going to call him out. I don't think I said that Endgame was worse than Eternals. I said that if you're going to compare the issues with Eternals, then you have to look at things like Endgame as well and the issues it had. So that's what I was trying to get across there. He says, but not much more. Yeah, I actually saw him earlier today. It's his daughter that I went and saw the ball game of earlier. And I could tell when I was telling him what stream I was doing tonight, he was like, eh. so I'm sure he's on that side of it too. Ken says, I don't understand the difference between underrated and underappreciated.
Yeah, like honestly, when I was rephrasing that, I'm like, yeah, what? There's a slim difference, but I think it comes to the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zack Attack, underrated people. So I want to get to this because he's kind of saying it. Underrated people say it's worse than it is. Underappreciated, not enough people talk about it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a good
Yeah.
way to explain that.
Yeah, that's a good point to
And I
explain.
think Eternals is both of those.
Yeah, that's why I said like it was underrated and underappreciated. It's just like I didn't have
Yeah.
the words to tell him. I'm like, wait, you caught me off guard. Yeah, like what is the good definition? But yeah, thank you, Zach, for that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yep. 80s kid, I'm back.
Hey,
I'm
what's
not gonna
up,
do it.
man?
I don't
Yeah,
have to do
you
that in
back.
Yoda's voice this time. He didn't word it in the way I had to. So, kid says you could have removed the deviants entirely. I
Yeah, I
think I
agree.
kind of said that in a way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think you could have very well wrote this movie to not even
yeah,
have the
without the
deviants in
deviants.
it.
Like they could have said it like one. Like, you know, when Arisham is explaining how the universe is, he could have mentioned the deviants because they're important
Yeah.
for the Eternals, but
Or you
maybe
could have
not.
even had the Eternals. I don't know. Yeah. Just remove the deviants in general. Have the Eternals here to
Yeah,
help develop mankind instead without pushing too much. And then have Ajax figure out what's going on and Icarus kill her like he did.
yeah,
And like just him kill her instead of throwing her deviants.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you could have went on with that and that been your story. I mean,
Yeah, that's why, like, for me, I would have preferred to have the deviants in the second movie because, like, I do feel like for the source material of the Eternals, the deviants are very important, you know. But
yeah.
like, yeah, they could have mentioned them, but not because, like, when we get arrows, for sure, we need to understand who is Thanos at the end of the day, you know, like, is he a
Yeah.
deviant, is he eternal? So it would have been fantastic in that way, you know. But yeah, I feel like here the way, like I said, like it was interesting. The deviants, like I wanted to have more of them, and I think you just throw them like that. And I feel like we're not even going to see them again. That's the worst part.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's pretty much it. And I don't think anybody wants to see him again after that. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, the other aspects of the story I think worked for me,
yeah,
and
me
the
too.
turn by Icarus worked for me. And I think you're right, Ken. If you remove the deviants, it makes it a better movie,
Yep.
even if you bring them up in context or bring them back later for something else. This particular movie didn't need them.
Yeah.
80s Kid says, agreed. Ken, it's slow, toneless in terms of score, and boring. I,
I was about
but
to say no. The score is good. I
yeah,
like
if you
it.
say I thought the score was fantastic.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
I'm not
that it
sure
was
on that.
fantastic. Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm not sure
I
what you
was
mean there.
I was about to play the Eternals theme, but no, I don't want to. I don't want this to get copyrighted.
Yeah, I thought as the movie went and when we got to the emotional moments of the movie, and I thought there were a bunch of those. I thought the score behind it really
Yeah,
set
yeah.
up those moments. So
I the theme of the Eternals is really good. I
it is.
compare this to Shang-Chi. And maybe Shang-Chi like had like better score or more interesting, let's say like that. But
In parts, yeah.
honestly, yeah. But honestly, Eternals had a good score. Like I loved it. So
I
yeah,
thought the way they did the score in it definitely flowed with the movie and
yeah,
set up part to part. So,
yeah,
but
definitely.
that's just my opinion. I'm not saying
Yeah, yeah,
Ken's
yeah.
opinion's wrong. If it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. That's
Yeah, no
perfectly
worries,
fine.
man.
Ken says I have no issues with doing something different in the MCU. However, this movie didn't work for me.
Yeah,
That's fine.
good.
That's fine. Okay, everybody. Good night. All right, 80s kid. Good night again.
All right, good night, man. And don't forget to get the glazed donut, please.
Second attack. It's actually thinking about something, not being too jokey, and takes its time. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it was a more serious movie. Weren't
yeah,
as many jokes. I actually kind of like jokes in some of these movies. That doesn't bother me as much as it does some other people, I don't think.
yeah.
But yeah, this was definitely a much more serious and
It
I
was,
think
yeah.
thought out movie. Maybe there were some issues, like Ken mentioned, with some of the storytelling with it, but I thought overall there was a lot
Yeah.
of thought put into this movie and some of
Th-
the things they
that,
did in.
that's why for me this is really underappreciated because like the story that they crafted like just you take characters individually, like they're so rich in
Yeah,
development, you know, they're so rich, their background is so rich. That's why I was like, I would say like this is they have more character development than other MCU characters that we had throughout a lot of movies. It's just like here maybe they don't find the right time to develop everyone and at the same level. But
yeah,
aside of that, like damn, like it's, you know, like we could be hours here explaining every character, how they think, how they
Yeah.
develop, and everything. But yeah, like that's why. Yeah, I completely agree 100% with what Zach is saying here. And also, like, the comedy was good. Like, like Karun and Kingo did their things,
Yeah.
but also when they needed to be serious, like that Karun, when he tells goodbye to everyone after the conflict, like that was really nice. Like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Karun, you see, like
That almost brought me to tears. I'll be
yeah,
honest.
I
Like
was like,
that
oh
was,
shit,
yeah, that was like, that's real right there. And
yeah,
it felt real. Absolutely.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So I think it was a very smart movie. And
yeah.
that's just my opinion though. Ken says, dude, I watch movies from all genres. This movie isn't bad because it's different in the MCU. It's bad because it's bad. That's your opinion.
Yeah,
And I respect it, but
yeah, we respect them,
I
man.
think we're given some reasons to why we disagree. And if you just didn't see it the way we did, that's fine.
That's fine, man.
If you
Like,
can't see it that way, that's fine too. I urge you to try to look at it with different lenses, but if you can't, that is what it is.
yeah, that's good, man. No worries, man.
See, Jonathan says Kit Harington was the best part of this movie, and I came out of it thinking I actually liked it on a first impression. But honestly, I think I was just excited for Blade and the Black Knight. Now
I
we'll
can't
talk
wait
about
to,
that here
yeah,
in
I
a
can't
minute.
wait to
Yeah,
talk about the credit scene
yeah,
because
that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Oh, I think Ken's feeling attacked here. Attacking other MCU movies and claiming they have no depth because people found this boring is misguided, in my opinion. No. I think you're taking what I said in
No,
the wrong way. That wasn't what I was getting at. I was just saying that this movie, like other movies, has issues.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that one movie is worse than another because of its issues or worse than this movie's issues or whatever. I'm just saying, like, when I watch a movie, I'm not, how am I trying to put this? I'm not trying to compare it to like what you're saying with Endgame. That wasn't my intention there. I'm just pointing out this isn't the only movie with flaws, and
yeah,
it seems like with a lot of the audience, and that's what we were talking about there is why it didn't work for other people. It seems like with a lot of the audience that they're looking for flaws in this movie more than they look for flaws in other movies.
yeah,
Because I don't hear people talk about those flaws from the other movies, and I don't understand that because I don't think this movie overall, outside of those nitpicks, uh, is a bad movie. You know what I'm trying to say, Jason.
yeah. Definitely. Like, well, if I can continue on your point, like, yeah, like, um, yeah, basically, yeah, you're saying, yeah, we're not trying to compare it. We're just trying to say that we feel like this movie, like when we talk about Eternals, let's point out everything bad of Eternals, but we don't talk really about what Eternals is, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't like it, that's fine. But we talk about other movies, like for example, I just pointed out for me, Spider-Man: No Way Home should be in the top 10 because of what I love about it. But if I'm honest, I know it doesn't deserve to be a top 10, but I don't care about that because like for me, it's still top 10. I enjoyed it and
Right.
everything. But nobody talks about like, oh, Spider-Man: No Way Home doesn't have great CGI, and that's in many times like in No Way Home, I realize I'm like, oh damn, the CGI is not good, but I don't care because I'm like, well, I'm enjoying this movie, and that's about it, and that's the thing. Like, so this movie too, like Eternals, I watched it and I'm like, damn, this is so good, and it's okay, like, but what we find it unfair was like everybody was attacking Eternals and maybe too much, maybe too harshly, like it was like, okay, everybody's saying this movie is trash, so let's continue that to say it's trash. And I'm like, okay,
That's how I have felt about this movie.
yeah,
Because when I
like
watch
honestly,
this,
like
I
I'm not
don't
just
see all these issues that people are trying to point out,
yeah,
but I see people piggybacking off other people and saying this movie's bad, this movie's bad, this movie's bad, and I feel like people are just saying it's bad because other people are saying it's bad.
yeah,
Not
like
everyone is doing it that way.
yeah,
Because, like for instance, to reference another movie in a different genre, Oppenheimer. I found that movie extremely boring, and
okay,
I couldn't hardly stay awake through it. There are so many people that watched that movie and loved it, and I get
yeah,
it,
yeah,
and I can look at it and I still see all the great things in that movie. I was just bored by it.
yeah,
If you're looking at Eternals and you're bored by it, but all you do is point out the bad and never the good, what are you doing? I mean,
yeah,
that's the opposite of what we're trying to do here. We want to look at good and bad and rate it on its own merits.
yeah,
And it
because like
seems like, and
yeah,
it just seems like what you're talking about here. And the only reason I brought up other MCU movies is because it seems like when it's those first three phases, nobody wants to point out any of the negatives that were in those movies, and there were there. They only point out positives, and nobody wants to point out the positives.
And that's so funny because like now, like well, after Endgame, we all know like like Marvel had their prime, like phase 1 to phase 3, but now everybody wants to trash phase 4 because Marvel is gone. Before Endgame, they used to make good movies. That is so not true because before Endgame, people were still trashing Marvel. They don't have stakes. This movie, what was this? Age of Ultron got so much hate and everything.
It did. So, and now people, and now I hear the same people that trashed Age of Ultron go back and say, "Man, I wish we had movies like Age of Ultron." I'm like, you just told me 5 years ago you hated that movie,
and that's fine because like the more, like you said, like you watch this movie today, you didn't like it, and then you watch it like years later, you like it, and that's fine, But that's where I was just like that. That's why like we're trying here to say like why for us like. Eternals was great. Eternal was great because I feel like at least like one thing I wanted here, it was like I wanted people to understand like why we feel like there's too much hate for a movie that I don't think it kind of deserves. Then if it's boring, it's boring. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, if it's boring, it's okay. It's boring, Like it's your opinion. We respect that. And like honestly, I love what Kenny's doing because like he's bringing like some things that he didn't like with constructive phrases and everything. It's not like this fair. Movie blah, but that's fair, that's fair. But yeah, in any means we meant to say like we wanna say Eternals is better because Endgame didn't have
that wasn't what I was trying to say. No. So I apologize if it come across that way.
Yeah, man. But thanks, Ken, for sharing your opinions. Like we said, like we're not here to tell you our opinion is the only one. No, it's everybody's opinion. Like we love that. We love to hear yours too, and that's great, man.
Zach says, "Who's attacking other MCU films?" Yeah, I think he was referring to me just pointing out some of the flaws from other films too.
Yeah,
and
like again, I believe like honestly like that's why like when I gave like scales like, and people told me like, why have you never give 10 out of 10? Because I believe no movie is 10 out of 10. Like I don't believe in perfection, let's say like that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know, I can't give a movie 10 out of 10. Of course, I can give it because like I enjoyed it, like but I know every movie has its flaws, like everything, like I have flaws, like everything's in life has flaws, but it's okay, like that's cool,
Yeah. And I can get very passionate with my thoughts and what I like and don't like and that kind of thing. Yeah. But I mean, I still have to look at it on both sides of it, no matter where my feelings are. And that's what I try to do. So I'm sorry if it comes across differently that I'm like saying, you have to like this movie because I like this movie. No, that's not the case. No. I don't believe that.
Like, look what we did. We brought up what we didn't like and what people we think didn't like as well. And we empathize with that because we're like, they're not wrong neither. Like, they're not. They have good points here. Maybe we don't see it as them, but they have good points, and we respect that.
Right. So, absolutely. Jonathan says, I didn't hate the movie at all, but it comes far down the list of Marvel movies I really enjoyed. That's fair, too.
That's fair.
If you like something else more, that's okay. And, Ken, if you can't move this movie up one space based on our conversation tonight, I understand that, too. And I'm not gonna hate on you for it. But I'm hoping that changed. But if it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. Zach says, not every movie has to immediately affect the MCU. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Ken says, actually thinking about something is a wild way to chat over MCU movies that are apparently brainless. Oh, so maybe he was referring to Zach's comments earlier. Hey guys, don't be fighting on with each other because of our video. Like I'm hoping everything is like civil and like you guys are just like playing off each other. But I really hope we're not causing like a big disturbance in the force here. Because you guys are great and you do great stuff together too. So hopefully that's not what's happening. Zach says Homecoming doesn't affect the MCU. Okay. Doctor Strange didn't affect the MCU. No one talked about Dormammu showing up on Earth. Huh. Yeah, I didn't even.
Wait, but did he show up though? It wasn't on the other dimension that Doctor Strange.
I'm not sure. I don't remember how that happened now.
Sorry, Zach. I'm not trying to discredit you. It's just I don't remember. It's been a while, Doctor Strange.
Ken says that's a good point about Homecoming. Zach said no one talked about Ultron. Yeah.
Hey, that's true.
There's a lot of things that haven't been okay. So he's going to talk about Strange here. I disagree about Doctor Strange. That movie introduced entirely new side of existence and context to MCU. Not magic specifically, but the lore created there really helped develop the MCU.
I mean,
Okay.
like each movie, anyway, they bring something. Either it's a character, or either they affect like at the larger scale the MCU. Like when you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, was their intention to bring something? Like we don't see the Guardians until Infinity War, but we
Right.
know they're expanding the cosmic universe. But they're not. They don't interact with the Avengers until Infinity War.
Yeah,
What
I
does
feel like
Ant-
I feel like Eternals did that with the expansion of the cosmic
Yeah,
side of it,
yeah,
because we now know what the Celestials are doing. Like we didn't know before what their plan was, and that they're doing this to all these different planets, and they're building up their army base per
yeah,
se. Like they're gaining more and more Celestials as time goes. Like we didn't know all that was happening before this, and
yeah,
now that makes a bigger threat on the cosmic scale.
yeah.
That's my opinion on it. But I love the ending. He said, "Okay." Zach said, "What did it develop?" I assume he's talking about Doctor Strange. What other projects used it? Ken says, "Wait, did Civil War not happen?" Um,
I don't know what is he referring to,
yeah,
but
I'm not sure either.
I would just like to point out that I love that. I heard like Grace Randall
Yeah,
beyond the trailer. So I remember like she hated Infinity War because Tony and Steve were still like fighting like little babies and they didn't want to talk to each other. And I was like,
yeah,
but that is cool because that's what Civil War brought.
yeah,
Like when people say like Marvel doesn't have stakes, well that's one of the things that happened. Like like
yeah.
they lost because they fought before, and that's
Yeah.
why also they
And they
lost.
touch on that in Endgame. They talk
Yeah,
about you weren't there. I mean that
yeah, you
comment
weren't
is
there, and that was really cool.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm probably sure he wasn't talking about that, but just like he reminded me of Infinity
yeah,
Wars.
yeah. I got what you're saying. Strange wasn't in Civil War. Zach says this is maybe I missed a reference. Ken says I was talking about Ultron.
Ultron.
Zach says they talked about Sokovia without bringing up Ultron's name.
Yeah.
And Ken says so. Then it had an impact. Oh, I feel like we're just. Zach says which one of my favorite few gripes, which is one of my few gripes with Civil War. Okay. And he says, DJ, you almost lost me with the Justice League take. Now, I'm pretty sure you've heard that Justice League take before, Zach. I think I've told you that. The
No,
length of that
I like
movie
Justice
almost.
League, the 4 hours. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be long. I watched it with my parents. We were surprised. We were like, we're going to watch the half, and then we're going to continue the other half. I was surprised we finished everything.
No, I
Yeah.
did half and half.
Yeah, first of all, I
that's
wanted
what
to
I
do
did.
that because I'm like, whoa, that's going to be long, like 4 hours. But it
It's
was
just hard for me to sit down for that amount of time.
Yeah, like
I just can't hardly
like
do it.
there's Killers of the Flower Moon that's coming out, and it's three
Yeah.
hours and a half. And
And I
although
want to
I'm
go see it in
excited,
theaters, but I'm kind of dreading it.
I'm like, damn, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like I watched
Yeah.
last year. I don't know if you know this movie RRR. It's an
Yeah.
Indian Bollywood movie. So that was
Yeah.
long too. Like I
Very
enjoyed it,
long.
but damn, I was kind of tired of sitting on the sofa. At one point, I was just in the floor watching the movie because I was like, damn, I'm
Yeah.
tired of sitting. But it was good.
All right. We're going to get a few more comments here, and then we got to get to our last few topics, and then we can finish
okay.
off the comments and end the stream because we're already almost 2.5 hours in. I did not
Yeah.
expect this to go this long. I didn't expect to get this many comments. So
Yeah,
thank
me
you guys
neither.
for that. Y'all
Yeah,
had
thank
some
you
really
so
good
much, guys, for that.
takes on
Honestly,
stuff.
like we love every comment that you gave us. Honestly, like
Made for great conversation. Ken says Age of Ultron sent Hulk off world, set up Tony to rethink his actions, introduced Claw, Wanda, Petro, and Vision, and a lot of that has to do with Ultron.
well, Age of Ultron really that was I think the thing that people didn't like about Age of Ultron. It wasn't a movie; it was a setup for Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will admit, yeah, Age of Ultron for sure is really important for the MCU. Ultron, I wish Ultron was brought more often. I guess if I can say like.
See, so Age of Ultron was one that I really loved when it came out, and I felt like I was the only one. And nowadays, I hear everybody talk about, "Oh yeah, Age of Ultron was good, and it did all these things," and I'm like, "Y'all didn't say that back.
Yeah,
maybe
I was
a few of you did, but
I always
there's
liked
so many
Age of
people
Ultron.
not
I don't
saying
think
that."
it was the best Avengers movie, but I did like Age of Ultron.
Ken also says not mentioning him by name does not mean he didn't have an impact. Zach says I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
And Zach says, if you reduce characters, who do you take off? Yeah, from us talking about that earlier. Yeah, that is tough. I don't know who you'd remove from this movie.
Honestly, I would remove Gilgamesh, but if I remove Gilgamesh, I have to remove Thena, so that would suck.
Yeah, I don't want to lose Thena.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we could have seen her in the second movie, but because you definitely you need Cersei, you need Icarus, you need Sprite, you need Druid, like someone who's going to be against them.
Yeah.
Against them, like just the one who doesn't. That's why I honestly like as much as it hurts me, I would remove probably. Yeah, probably I would have give the role of Gilgamesh to someone else, and I would have removed Gilgamesh and if another one. And honestly, this is gonna hurt me, but Makari, because he wasn't there a lot of times, so I would have removed both of them to have them in the sequel.
Yeah, I feel like so many of these characters made such a difference in moving the story along.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
can't figure out how to win at the end without Fastos. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many.
No, yeah,
many
that's what
characters.
I was trying to think like that. I'm like, okay, like maybe I could give the role of Gilgamesh to someone else for Tina.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get rid of Kingo, even though he wasn't as impactful, because he was impactful in the storytelling aspect of understanding how hard it was to
Yeah, like that.
go one side or the other and stuff.
Like that. I remember people like used to tell me, "Oh, Kingo didn't do nothing except dancing," which I will admit that I was a bit disappointed about this Bollywood dancing. I thought it was going to be more than that. Like I think like let's just do like something like this. I'm like I was a bit expecting something, but that I think that's where people didn't understand is perspective. Like he said it in his line, like, "Hey, I don't agree with you guys. Like I believe in Arishem, but that doesn't mean I have to harm you as well. So not because of my beliefs, I have to harm you." So that's why he left. People were saying like, "Oh, he didn't do shit. Like, oh, he was a wasted character." I'm like, no, like that was nice of him. Like he could have been an extremist, but he wasn't. He was just like, well, I still believe in Harisham. He's still my god. I will always like pray to him or whatever, but I won't harm my family. I won't go to harm my family.
Yeah.
Because of my beliefs. So that was really like, whoa, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming.
Let's stop the comments for just a minute. We'll finish up all the comments when we finish this stuff.
Yeah.
Last 3 questions. Where do you see the Eternals fitting into the MCU going forward?
If we're talking about the movie, honestly, the Eternals, that one thing I think, bringing the Celestials is too big for the MCU, or at least for now, especially if we're talking about multiverse. So I would see the Eternals 2 would be so nice for the next phase, because you could bring Galactus, you could make Galactus be a Celestial or something like that, But the Eternals themselves, that's the thing. I don't know. This is tricky because you kind of need Eternals too, because like like now Cersei and etc. Like I think it was Cersei, Kingo, and Fastos. They're with Arishem, so I don't know where they fit necessarily, unless either in Secret Wars or in Kang Dynasty, Eros goes and takes them, and then we have the Eternals, which would kind of be lame. Would kind of be lame for what Eternals set up. Or we just don't have Eternals until the next phase, which again will feel lame because we had a movie that came and we never talked about it. Like it will be like what the Incredible Hulk of the new MCU phase. So I don't know. This one is tricky. I don't have a clear answer for you. Like, but I believe like the movie at least should be for the next phase, because I think the Celestials are too big to be in this phase. We already have Kang, and I think they have to set up Kang properly. So yeah.
I think it makes sense to bring a couple of them into. I don't know if you bring back Cersei or Kingo or Fastos until another movie. I think it makes sense the ones that are with Eros right now. Well, I don't know, because he did mention. I mean, we'll get into that more in the after credit. I guess he did mention he knows where they're at or something, and I don't know. So maybe that is part of the next storyline. Maybe they pull Infinity War where Rocket goes with Thor to go get a new hammer. Maybe there's a quick scene or a storyline with the Eternals going to get the rest of the Eternals, and maybe they find somebody else with them there too, and they could join the MCU as well. And maybe there's something with that. I don't know. Outside of that, I don't really know. I don't feel like this movie set up enough for the Eternals characters herself to really fit in with a whole lot else outside of something cosmic like that happening until another movie. So we'll see where that goes. I do kind of hope we see them before another movie because I do like these characters and I want to see them again.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, and those after credits. Disappointed, let down.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about the one that got me disappointed is the last one. So
Okay.
I don't know that much Dane Whitman, but before the
Okay.
movie, like I heard, like Dane and Cersei, it's really a thing. They become Avengers and everything. So I was like, okay, I want to see this from Dane. I wanted to see the suit. I heard that they couldn't make his suit because of COVID and everything, and then they were going to do CG, but at the end they just grabbed that and they were like, well, we're just gonna have
give him a
Dane.
sword.
Yeah, and that was fine. That was fine by me. But the thing that bugs me, it's like that credit scene. Like, how can you have Marshall Ali and not show him like that? People didn't. I didn't even know it was him until like I went on the internet and people were starting to say, "Hey, it's Marshall Ali." I'm like, wait, but why will you throw that away? Like,
yeah,
I like, with all due respect for Marshall Ali, he's a fantastic actor. I've watched some of his movies, but I don't recognize every time his voice. Like, like there's at this point, I don't know how many actors have passed through the MCU, so I'm not gonna recognize everybody's voice. So that's why I felt that was a bit weird. But it was interesting to see like but it was interesting to see like the sword. That was, I think that was interesting. Yeah. I can't wait for that. So on the flips, like on the downside, I didn't like the fact that we had Blade, but we don't see him really. But on the good side, like it's interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with Dane. Now for Arrows, probably that's the one you want me to talk about. So honestly, I didn't know Harry Styles was in this movie. It's a bold casting. I will not lie about that. I do like that Harry Styles fits with Arrows, like how he is in the comics. Probably they're gonna change some stuff. Yeah, but probably they're gonna change some stuff because Arrows on the comics. I don't think today will pass, man. Yeah, he does some stuff. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I do like the cast. It's bold. I was intrigued. Then I saw his movie Don't Worry Darling, where I feel like people were saying he was terrible, and I don't believe it was terrible. I thought it was okay. So that credit scene was actually interesting. It was nice. Pip Dutrow was awful, man. That CG though was awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
The voice was great.
Yeah, the voice. Yeah. It's Paxton. What's his name? Paxton.
Paxton. I was fixing to tell you, and then I was fixing to tell you, and then you asked.
My bad. Anyway, so I thought that credit scene works well in like for the story, and that's why I was like, you see, that's where you build up your universe, or you want to reference someone like cleverly. That's how you do it. Oh, it's the brother of Thanos, so it's MCU, it's Thanos, man. It's his brother. You don't need to have those. Oh yeah, who's gonna lead the Avengers? Blah, blah, blah. Although it was, at least the scene was cute, no, but. Yeah, it feels like you were obligated to do that. But this felt more organic. Like, hey, you have brothers, you have Thanos' brother here, and I was like, that's my setup. Like, that's fine. The only concern I have with Arrows is how they're going to explain. I feel like Eternals already. People think it's hard enough to understand. I don't know what they're gonna do explaining Arrows. How he was on Titan, how did he escape of Titan, why Thanos doesn't look like him. All of that seems a bit like complicated for me. But I like the scene. It's just I have more questions than like excitement. Let's say like that.
Yeah, that's seems like every MCU Phase 4 movie has an end credit where they introduce new characters and we don't see them again for a while, and we've still not seen them again. But yeah, so I knew ahead of time that was going to be Blade before I went to watch the movie.
Okay.
I'm bad at looking at spoilers for movies before I go see them.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me like it does other people. So when I saw that the credits had been leaked before this movie, I went ahead and watched or read what they were. But for some reason, what I had read didn't tell me that Harry Styles was Eros. It just told me Eros shows up. So and I'll get to that. But so when I got to the final scene, with Blade, and I already knew exactly what that scene was. So I was excited and giddy because I just wanted to see what the sword looked like.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting excited for. So for me, that scene was actually pretty great just because I got to see the sword. It looked awesome to me.
Yeah. It looked
And
awesome.
just knowing what was coming. But I will say I was bummed out before the movie, knowing that was an after credit scene because I knew ahead of the movie. I'm like, oh, we're not getting Black Knight in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, he don't get a sword till the end credit. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a bit of a buzzkill for me. But the scene with Eros, so he pops up on screen and my wife's like, "Ooh," and I'm like, what? And I'm like, you know Eros? Because I knew it was Eros.
You know, Eros?
She's like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, Eros. She's like, it's Harry Styles. I'm like, who's Harry Styles? Like,
Oh man.
I had no idea. It was after this that I went and found out who Harry Styles was because I didn't have a clue. I don't listen to modern music.
Damn. I did listen to my One Direction songs.
I didn't have a clue. Yeah, I've heard some of the same things. Don't worry, darling. That one was on my list for a long time to watch, and I never got around to it, so I didn't actually see it. I don't know what kind of role Eros is going to have in this. I don't imagine it's going to be a huge role. So for that reason, I think Harry Styles is a fine casting choice for this. Let him have some acting experience in this franchise. We've had a few nobodies come in that didn't have a lot of experience and turned out to be really great.
Yeah, those would be great. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get that happen, and that's fine. Write them out or recast them.
It's just I know like. Well, I know with Don't Worry, Darling, there was like a lot of problems, and I think it was Harry Styles. Also, like I heard this. I don't know. Like it was
really all over the place.
Yeah, so I don't know like how. I even wonder, is Marvel going to keep Harry Styles? I wouldn't be surprised
if they
recast him. I wouldn't be surprised if they even recast him.
He's there for one scene and after credit. I do hope they clean up the CG on Pip though.
Yeah, that I hope so too. Probably they're gonna do it. Like I heard, like Eternals had to. Actually, I think it was either Harry Styles or Chloe Zhao that said that credit scene was like 1 month before or 1 month and a half before shot.
Very last minute. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, very last minute.
But yeah, Patton Oswalt. He is a great choice to play. Pip, though. I think he's got the right voice, the comedic timing. I think that's going to be good for that. So that's my thoughts on those after credits. All right, and the final question I have: overall thoughts on the movie. Is there anything else you want to add tonight?
Honestly, like I said, man, just I enjoyed so much this movie. Maybe I enjoyed it more than I should, but for me, this was a cinematic experience that I didn't thought I was going to have. But once I watched the first teaser, I was like, this is my movie, and it was. So yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint some of you if you think like this is very bad, but for me, it did it. And this, I didn't do a ranking of the MCU, but this probably would be very high on my list. Like I know at least for Phase 4, this is probably the third or second best Phase 4 movies that I've seen. So yeah, that's my humble opinion, guys. So yeah. What about you?
I'm right there with you. I mean, we told why we liked the movie. We gave details as to what parts of the movie we really liked. We did tell you guys some parts that we didn't like as much and that we understood why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I think we've done a pretty good job pointing out the things that we really enjoyed about this movie and why it worked for us. And I think that's all we can do. You guys know I love this movie. This is a top 10 movie for me in the MCU. I've got a list written down somewhere. I don't know where it's at and exactly what spot it's in. It's toward the top of the top 10, or toward the bottom of the top 10. It's not like one of the top few movies for me, but it is my wife's favorite MCU film. And I wish she would have been on the stream with us as well, or at least in the comments explaining, because she's got some interesting, like, to her, this movie was extremely deep and it made her think a lot, and it made her really get invested in what was going on based on the performances. So hearing her talk about the characters and how much she loves this character and that character and the different power sets of each Eternal, she thought was a really cool concept. And she's not a comic book reader. She's not a huge, I mean, she likes the MCU movies and stuff. That's the extent of her knowledge on comic books. And for her to come in and love this movie this much tells me that casual fan can enjoy this movie even if it is a 3.5 hour grind.
Yeah. Also,
Or
like,
2.5 hour grind. Or
yeah.
whatever
Also,
it is.
like, just to point out something, like the friends that I went with when we were 13, like, actually most of them, they're not MCU fans. Like, I mean, they
Mm,
watch some MCU movies, but they're not like
yeah,
hardcore MCU fans, or they didn't follow everything. So
yeah,
that's why it's interesting that you're pointing it out, because, like, yeah, that's why I believe that's where it hurt, because it's MCU. Like, it had to be connected.
yeah,
That's why, because, like, they're casual moviegoers and they loved it. Not even they liked it, they loved it. They told me they really loved this movie. It's like
yeah,
one of their favorites of the year. I'm like, damn, okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I know it was for her, and I think this movie stands on its own merits as a solid movie,
Yeah,
regardless MCU or non MCU. I just think it's a great movie, and
yeah, me
that's
too.
that's what I'll leave on my thoughts for that. And we'll read the comments, and then we'll finish off for the night.
Yep.
Um. Okay. Last thing we read was reduce characters. What do you take off? So now we're at Ken. In regards to Doctor Strange, it opened up a corner of the universe, therefore developing the language fans will come to use with the magic side of the universe. I agree with that.
Yeah, the cosmic, the magical side. Yeah,
Zach says I feel the same about Eternals.
mirror dimension.
Ken iterates mirror dimension, the first mention of multiverse, the introduction of time stone, time rewinding, and time travel. That is a lot of stuff that it brought to the table. That is for
Yeah,
sure. Ken says the idea of a sorcerer supreme. Yeah. And the idea Doctor Strange had no impact is wild. Okay. Zach says, I don't know if that does matter. And then Zach says, but to your point, it took time for stuff to spread out and matter. Yeah. And we haven't had the time yet to see where Eternals is gonna
yeah,
impact where. Got to see how Eternals affect stuff later. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you.
Because honestly, for me, I'm more than positive today to shot this, but I'm pretty sure the Celestials will be the next big villains. Probably Galactus. I think they're gonna make
Yeah,
Galactus a Celestial. That would be the easiest
that's
way.
what I've been feeling for. Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
way they're going to go too. Ken says more contemplative than Civil War. I think not. Yeah, Captain Tony. Zach says, yeah, Captain Tony made up their mind as soon as the issue came up. Zach says wasn't much contemplation. Okay. Ken says more contemplative than T'Challa and Killmonger's competing philosophies. I think not.
Philosophies, I think not.
Yeah. Um, hmm.
Hmm.
Zach says Killmonger's mind was made up. Boy, they're just going back and forth here tonight.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Again, there's a whole scene of contemplation of superhero registration and then people going back and forth on their beliefs. Zach, T'Challa had to contemplate though. Zach, but the whole movie for Eternals is that scene plus world building and awesome action.
Awesome
Yeah,
action.
because the whole thing is them trying to figure out where they fit in the world for one, and two, where they go moving forward. Because are they just here to be here for thousands of years and go back, and then when the events change for them, they have to decide amongst their own selves which side to take.
Yeah, it was like philosophical.
Yeah, the
Philosophical. Like
entire movie was that way.
like I said, like, I have a family. I don't want them to die, or I met these wonderful people. I don't want them to die, but also I'm preventing them others to be born. So yeah, like,
It's like, what was Fastos supposed to do there? Like,
yeah,
there's
like
no
like
way
that's what I
he's got a
understood.
family.
Fastos, he was like, oh, also
Yeah,
Fastos when he said well, like, I think he said, like, I'm an eternal made or created or whatever, something like that. Like, that was powerful. I don't remember
yeah,
the exact words, but that scene was very powerful when he was talking about with Icarus.
yeah,
But yeah, like, yeah, what do you want Festus to do? Like, he made up a family. Like, he moved on. So
yeah. All right, we'll move on here. Zach says, with plot twist that blew my mind. I agree. Zach, but I get you didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, we can point out all these things that we liked about it and what we thought worked for us, and it still may not work for somebody else.
I
No matter
will.
how much we iterate what we think about it, it's not always gonna
Yeah. I will say though that it didn't blow my mind, but I thought it was nice. But it didn't blow my mind. Like the
Okay.
he's talking about the Icarus twist, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't blow my mind, but it was fun to see. It was fun to see Icarus like
Yep.
that, like this villain.
Ken says the entire leadership had to contemplate Killmonger's points. Wakabi didn't join Eric because he liked his hair. Was nice hair though.
Yeah.
Zach says one scene. And Zach says I also love Black Panther.
I love 1 and 2.
And then Ken says one scene is all it takes. Okay.
I mean that's what Eternals did. Like
The entire movie was one scene to take. No, Zach says I love the MCU, but contemplation not a big part of the movies. That's true. They're not exactly Oscar movies for the most part. Well, we've had one nominated, and that was for Best Picture, and that was Black Panther.
Black Panther, yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that he's bringing up Black Panther to make his point, I mean, that is the one movie that
Yeah.
that resonated enough to.
Also, I don't know. I was about to say Black Panther too, but that was like minor categories. But yeah. Sure, I forgot. That's just.
I just mean the Best Picture part. I think that was the only one that
got Best Picture. Yeah.
Nomination. Ken says that's just flat out untrue. Respectfully, Zach, I get it because GA not into that.
What is GA?
I don't know. Something between them, maybe. Zach says they want to have fun. Ken, this is insulting. You talk about Zach, you talk about me. Zach, no way to really disprove it. Ken, yes, I'm literally disproving it now.
Damn, they're really back and forth.
Yeah, Zach, not really. This is just this is more Ken and Zach than it is.
No.
He gave the K.
No.
He gave the K.
What's for Kenny?
Is that the last he commented tonight? Oh man. I hope you're all right, Ken.
No, Kenny. No, come on,
man. Zach, the people who like it are quiet. The people who don't are loud. It happens to certain films. Zach, it hit a lot of stuff that I love in story, especially in a sci-fi film. I'm with you on that. And Zach, in a lot of sci-fi films, the characters aren't fully fleshed out, but used for the plot.
Yeah.
Zach, nah, we're all good. Me and Ken debate. We did this with Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Well, nice. I have to watch
Barbie and Oppenheimer, huh? Man, I gotta say, I love Barbie and not a fan of Oppenheimer.
I think Ken it was the opposite. If I remember, I think I saw his face where he didn't like Barbie, but loved Oppenheimer.
I see.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think.
Zach says RRR super long, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's very
amazing.
Long.
But it was long.
Zach said GA general audience. What was that comment up there?
Thanks, Zach.
I'm trying to remember what that comment was with GA. I get it because general audience not into that. Contemplation not a big part of the movies. Oh, okay. Well, and that is the end of our comments. You got any final thoughts?
Well, I don't have really for the movie. No, like I think we it's been like almost 3 hours that we're talking about this movie, but I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was there. Honestly, guys, we love to debate here. Here it's a safe space. We debate. Let's not take everything too at heart. You know, like I mean, right, look, right. I like Sabine and DJ's. He doesn't like Sabine, so it's okay, man. And look, we're doing this. You see, we're doing this, and that's fine.
Hey, I like Jar Jar, Yamcha, and MODOK. I mean,
you see,
I
like Yamcha. I love. Well, I don't love Georgia, but I like him. I don't really like MODOK, so you see, we have differences, and that's fine. That's fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. So here, like maybe we're repetitive, but we want to make this clear because for us the goal was not to tell you that what you're thinking is wrong or that what we're saying is right. No. We wanted to discuss, we wanted to point out, we wanted to hear from you what you didn't like about this movie, and we accept it, and we tell you what we love and what we think was bad also and could have done better, like because everything could be done better, and that's the main goal of this conversation. And also I just wanted to have fun with DJ and with you guys. So
absolutely.
Did you have fun, man? I hope you had fun, man.
I had a blast doing this. I hope you guys in the comment section and watch this did too. I hope there's not broken up friendships over this because I'm kind of worried about some of the comments right now. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I did not mean for this stream to turn into that.
Yeah, no, no.
I just wanted to share my love for this movie and explain why it is that I love this movie and why I think it's underappreciated and underrated.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean you have to think the same way. Doesn't mean that any of your opinions are misguided or wrong or any of that. I mean,
yeah.
I'm wrong 90% of the time. Just ask my wife; she'll tell you. So,
but yeah, thank you so much to Zach who was there, to Ken, to Dark who was there as well. Popping the
yes.
popcorn, she was there at one point, I believe.
And most of everybody in these comments, there are a few others. Most of the people in these comments have channels. If you're watching this right now, even as a replay, go sub to all these comments that you see, all these people in these comments, because they have some great channels. And thank you so much to Ken and to Zach for filling up the comment section and giving us some very interesting takes and things to talk about.
Yeah. Also 80s kids from the 90s, Cosmic Broadcast too. So yeah, everybody just go and sub with to them because they're really fantastic content creators, man.
Yes, I appreciate you all. Jason, why don't you tell us one more time about your channel, what you got going on, and
all right,
all that kind of stuff.
All right, thank you, DJ. So my name is Jason. I run a YouTube channel called Jason Entertainment, where I talk about movies, about football, about basically things that I like and that are my passions. Tomorrow I will post my video of One Piece review, which I was supposed to put it 3 weeks ago, but I was sick, and then I got caught up with some work and school, unfortunately. But it's finally there. I can't wait for you guys to see this, and hopefully you will like it. I'm almost at 400 subscribers, so I would love to reach that 400 subscribers. And yeah, I have some things that I want to cook for you guys soon, but I can't really share it to you right now because I want to keep it a surprise, but also I have to adjust with my schedule. So yeah, I cover movie reviews. So probably the next 2 weeks I have like exams and things that and I have homeworks that I have to give. But probably I will do a short about The Exorcist. I think I will still have time to go watch The Exorcist Believers. So hopefully I will post that. And yeah, and thank you so much, guys, for your support. This was very, very nice, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you so much, DJ.
Yeah. So thanks again, Jason, for being here. If you guys don't know, I've got my Doesn't Hold Up Batman 1966 video, hopefully dropping tomorrow. I've been putting this off because I've just not had time, but hopefully that's coming out tomorrow. And doing a little bit of work on my background, so look forward to something coming from that. And nice. Other than that, I'll be back on a live stream Sunday night talking movie news. And I don't think I've got anything else to say. So, again, thank you, everybody, for joining. This has been a great time. Thank you, Jason, for being on the stream. We'll have to work together and do something again sometime soon.
Yes, for sure. Oh, by the way, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to DJ. If you're new, you don't know us, subscribe to DJ, subscribe to me, guys. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. And yeah, definitely we'll just do something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hit 150. I thank you all for getting me to that milestone. Again, I'm very, very grateful for all of you.
It's just the beginning.
So, all right. Well, that'll be it for this stream. Thank you for joining us. Let us know in the comments if we changed your mind at all or if you hate the Eternals even more after watching our stream. See you guys later.
See you guys.